what you desire. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Welcome, everybody, to Daytona International Speedway. I am here tonight at HTL iRacing Series. They are running around the track right now in practice. I am joined in the booth tonight by the one and only Terry Radford and another Super Speedway driver, Zach Meredith. Terry, you got a copy?
What's up, brother? How are you?
What's going on, Terry? We're here at Daytona International Speedway to see the opening night for HTL iRacing Series in the next gen cars. 23 race season, 16 regular seasons, one All-Star race, and 7 playoff races, and continuous. No eliminations, no nothing, just straight points all through the playoffs. What are you seeing on practice or in practice, and got any favorites for tonight?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of drivers in the draft able to really work with the flatter noses on these next gen cars to really give a shot to make the momentum happen. I'm seeing multiple packs go out there. The one guy I've kind of kept my eye on was Tyler Woodard. He's been all over the track. He was able to work the bottom. He was able to work the high lane. And he was able to make passes on both. And with the next gen cars, and Zachary could actually allude to this more, you don't really see the high lane work unless you get a pack together that can really make some momentum go. The bottom's your strong suit. But Tyler was fast all the way around the track, so I would be surprised to see him come up there and maybe win this race.
Well, it's definitely not a bad pick right there, being with Tyler. So we'll see where he turns out. But the other guy in the booth tonight with us, Zach Meredith. Zach, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
What's going on, Zach? I brought you into the booth because I figured, why not have a guy who goes out there and wins a lot of super speedways. You were gracious enough to, to say you'd be here tonight. Got a bunch of wins on super speedways. You're one of the guys I watch and turn down for what always. You and Josh Arnold and a couple others that are just really, really fast to super speedway. So why not have one of you guys here tonight for this opening race at HTL iRacing Series? First time in the booth for you. So any expectations for you, nerves, anything like that?
Hey, I appreciate the kind words about the super speedway racing and being one of the good ones. With Jay Paul and all them. But yeah, a little nervous. I'll leave most of the commentating to you guys. You guys are the pros. I'm new to this, so I'll give off most feedback as I can as a driver, and not a commentator.
Well, I'm sure Terry and I will do a lot of talking. We both like to talk, so I think we can probably say we'll handle a lot of the talking. But I'll definitely look to you for a lot of the insight as far as drivers and strategies on track. We got 90 laps tonight at Daytona in these next gen cars. I don't know how much experience you have with the next gen cars itself, but what would be your strategy for a 90 lap race at Daytona? Would you go full tilt, go to the front, lead as many laps as possible, try to avoid danger? Would you go to the very back and hold out and maybe hope that some of these guys wreck out, maybe are a little too aggressive, or would you just let the race fall into your lap as it plays out?
For me personally, with next gen or realistically any super speedway race, I want to start up front and stay up front. More cars behind you is more or is less cars that you gotta pay attention to when they wreck. So I don't like doing the whole stay behind strategy, especially in these cars, because the brakes they don't they don't tend to break as quick or anything like that as compared to the Gen 6 or the Xfinity or trucks. They take a while, and then if you hit the brake too hard, the car snaps. Like they don't have like it seems like they don't have traction. It's quite a handful. So next gen cars are definitely something to watch out for in terms of handling and how they actually check up or if they get loose. You see me in the Xfinity car for turned on for what off the corner get sideways. Just by touching the apron, I guarantee you with these next gen cars, you will literally spin out instead of just getting a little bit loose.
Gotcha. Well, Terry and Zach, we got three stages tonight. Obviously, one first stage will be 25 laps. Second stage will be thrown at lap 50, and then the rest of the race is the third stage to the end of the 90 laps. We've got five drivers that the admins told me about for drivers to watch. Watched a little bit of the dual races, and some of these guys in this list were definitely at the front to be able to be watched. So a little bit about the drivers. Matt Smith driving the 19 tonight. He finished last year at the plate tracks second, and fourth. That's a very good average for three super speedway tracks. for this series here. He seems to have it kind of figured out of the formula, consistency, whatever you want to call it, for these unpredictable places like this. And that's where I was looking towards Zach. You know, you always seem to be at the front. Even I've seen you be wrecked out of a couple races, and then still at the end be right there in the top 5, top 3, battling for the win, and even pull off the win. So that's one of the drivers tonight. Second is Dylan McDonald driving that 38. The three of us probably look towards that 38 of always seeing Matt Boone driving that 38, but Matt Boone's actually driving the 83 tonight because the 38 is taken over by Dylan McDonald. He's got a very strong potential as a rookie going into the season, where they have 16 rookies in this field that have not been part of this series before. So it should be interesting with a lot of guys not really driving around themselves or around each other a whole lot before this series kicks off. He did lead 11 laps in the duels and was third on the bottom with a very decent shot to win this race, win the duels race on the last lap, and was unfortunately taken out in a big, massive wreck that they had in the duel race. Another guy is Marcus Chafin. I actually watched him in PSES a couple times. Drives that 8 car over there. He was really fast. Driving over here tonight for the BFL crew. Driving the 8 car. He's got the outside pole to start tonight's race, so he will be on that front row. He did win at least one stage in 2 out of the 3 plate races that he ran last season, with Daytona nabbing 2 of the top 4 finishes that he had last season. Wound up finishing 3rd in points overall and did not have a win all season. He's actually one of the returning guys that was in the playoff run last season. He's actually the only playoff driver to return to this series from last season. The other drivers have moved on to, I guess, different series and stuff like that. Corey Andon, I've also seen him in several different series. Very, very fast. Not just the super speedway, 1.5 mile road course. He's all over the place. Andon was about a foot away from missing the last lap crash in the duels, which would have put him up there against the winner, the eventual winner, Gutenkunst. That was part of this on the last corner. He's one of 2 Toyotas in the field tonight. So only 2 Toyotas, which is kind of a shocker to me. But, yeah, only 2 Toyotas tonight, a bunch of Fords, a lot of Chevys. The 5th driver to pay attention to tonight is the one that we know personally, the 3 of us, from console side and now over to iRacing side. Corey Kobe driving the 10 car tonight. We know him as Watt Racing from the console side on Xbox, 2-time champion of the truck series for NNR. Coming over to iRacing, has done very well. Still looking for that first win on an iRacing league setting, but very, very consistent, clean driver, driving what I thought was going to be the Tide car tonight, but I think he might be moving to the Fire Cheetos car that Matt Boone designed for him. So we'll see these 5 on track. There's a bunch of other drivers out there that we'll have to pay attention to. Like I said, Matt Boone's one that we know, runs very well at super speedways. We've seen him over and turned down for what. He won one of the super speedway races two of the super speedways last season. So pretty consistent here at super speedways. But of those 5 drivers that I just mentioned, which one of those 5 would you highlight, Terry?
Well, I mean, I would look at Dylan McDonald. You talk about the strong runs that he's had. He led 11 laps in the duels, and the duels are just a different animal. You have short laps. You're not running the full pace that you would run here, 90 laps. But then you go up there to Matt Smith. I mean, you talk about second, and fourth at plate tracks. Anybody who can consistently finish top 5 across the board in 3 different styles, whether you're going to iRacing, Super Speedway, Daytona, or Talladega, that really shows a strength there that he's able to manipulate the draft, understand the side drafting portion of it, and it kind of reminds me of what you would see with Dale Earnhardt or Dale Jr., that you could see the air, you understand the moves you have to make, but Curtis, this is a different animal. They're not in the Gen 7 cars or the Gen 6 cars anymore. They're in the Gen 7 cars, the next gen cars. So the draft is going to be different. The air is going to be different. You're going to have to understand what this car can do because the suck up rate is different. You get much more of a draft, but it's so much harder to get up to the back bumper of these cars and make a shove. And when you do, you have a lot more risk for danger. I think those 2 are going to be the ones to watch out for. But you did see in the notes too that if anybody else wins except for Nathan Estep, that's a first-time winner, so good momentum to start this league.
Yeah, for sure. We've got 7 teams that are within this series. You've got Deep Racing, you got Tombstone Motorsports, Kobe Boone Racing, Bush League, Tribe Motorsports, and 1776 Motorsports, and then another one, Newfound Glory Motorsports, and then you have 3 free agents that are not part of any teams. But each team here is designated to a specific manufacturer. So Newfound Glory Motorsports is Toyota, 1776 Motorsports is Chevys, Tribe Motorsports Chevys, Bush Fords, Kobe Boone Ford, Tombstone Motorsports Ford, and then Deep Racing Ford. So we've got 5, 10, 19, 22 Fords that can be in this field, and we've got 9 Chevys plus 3 outside, or 3 Toyotas, and then between the 3 free agents, you got 1 Toyota, 1 Ford, and 1 Chevy. So there's going to be a heavy dose of Fords tonight in this field. Zach, I know you're out there. You drive, I believe, a Ford in almost every one of the ones I see you driving, along with Josh Arnold and that whole J-Paw Militia group. Is there something to the Fords on these super speedways? Because I see a lot of you guys win super speedways. I think CMB or the J-Paw Militia groups, or whatever you want to call them, teams, and turned down for what? I think you guys have won 5 races so far out of that season between the 2 seasons, or 2 series.
No, I personally drive a Chevy. J Paul and Griff or Nathan both drive Fords. The rest of us all drive Chevys. I truly don't see any difference in terms of speed or power or suck up right between each individual car. The only thing I would prefer over Ford for the Chevys is that the Fords have a flatter bumper, so you can push on a flatter rear bumper to any of the vehicles in front of you.
Gotcha. Well, we've got the Daytona 225 tonight at Daytona International Speedway, 2.5-mile super speedway. Some track facts: fastest lap, Josh Van Westen running a 198.229. Previous winner of this race was John Gutekunst. Most lead changes was 12, and that was in the Season 2 Daytona Duel that just happened last week. And most laps led was by Scott Snodgrass, 70 laps, and the most they've had for cautions was in the Duel last week, where guys didn't really have a whole lot to run for. There were some points given out to the top 10, but really it was just an all-out see everybody, try to race against each other, see where everybody's moves were. They had 5 in that race there, so. From what I talked to about with the owner and everything, they said, most cautions they've ever had in a race was 9, and I can't remember what track he told me, but majority of the time they're 0, 1, 2 at the very most. Tonight's track temperature should be 80 degrees, 40% humidity, 7-mile-an-hour winds out of the east, and clear skies for tonight's race. Lights on. It should be pretty good once they turn to dark. It should be daytime racing right now, but it should be switching over here at some point. But, yeah, it's going to get interesting here. I'm going to go ahead and throw us in the national anthem so we can go right into the ending of practice and qualifying to see what is going on here. They have the grid already designed and set up by the duel. So right into the national anthem, give that big salute to the red, white, and blue. Everybody out there for military, first responders, everybody that runs towards danger. Big salute to you guys. We're back I'm going to take a look real quick just to show you those top 5 drivers that I was talking about. These are the 5, 19, 38, 8, 94, and 10. These are the top drivers to watch for tonight from the admins and the voting process that they did within the Discord. So definitely people to watch, and we will keep an eye on them throughout the race. But we are on track at Daytona International Speedway. Zach, Terry, very happy to have you guys in the booth tonight. We will have a very entertaining race, I feel like. 90 laps. These guys are going to be going full tilt. We're going to see some strategy being played out with the stage breaks and things like that. Who's going to come down, with 23, 24 laps to go, try to top off and not worry about stage points? Who's going to be the guys that stay out and try to get those stage points? With 65% fuel, I'm not sure they can make it to 25 laps. I don't think that's possible. Zach, I don't know if you remember when we were turned down for what was 70% fuel, what the fuel range was for the Gen 6. I know it's a little different with the Gen 7s, but I thought it was between 20 and 25, so I think there will be somewhere around the same thing here.
They from what I've been told by one of the drivers is that they can actually go just about 25 to 28 laps of gas, not including saving gas on the warm-up lap. So you have to take in fact you can probably save a lap, maybe 2 laps on this warm-up coming to green. So it'll be pretty interesting to see if they have any strategy, if people just want to go all out for the stage or if people just want to relax and see what happens.
All right, we are going into the first lap here, getting everything put up on the screen now as far as race info. Starting lineup, Wes Fuller in the 5, part of the Corey Boone team, will be starting on pole. Marcus Chafin starting 2nd. John Gutekunst starting 3rd. Corey Kobe starting 4th. Alfred Denny starting 5th. Alistair Kirk 6th. Angel Santiago 7th. Matthew Stephen 8th. Mark Parkhurst 9th. Matt Boone 10th. Terry, take us to the next 10.
Yeah, Matt Smith is going to be 11th. Shad Swatsworth in 12th. Dylan McDonald in 13th. Dean Clavitt is going to be 14th. Corey at Andon will be 15th. Greg Wood Jr. Gary Donaldson starting 16th and 17th. Nathan Estep in 18th. Blake Henderson and Bryce Borer is going to round out your top 20.
All right, Zach, we've got 21st, Hunter Whitlock, 22nd, DJ Anderson, 23rd, Ryan Mortray, 24th, Nathan Blankenship, 25th, Kevin Gibney, 26th, Zach Hawley, 27th, Christopher Pendle, 28th, Guy Clem, 29th, James Ott, Tyler Woodard starting 30th. As we're coming off turn 3 and 4, that pace car should be ducking on off, and we should be getting ready to go green, guys. First race of the season for HTL iRacing Series at Daytona. Let's go green, guys. All right, these guys are jumping on that pedal and getting going. We're underway here at Daytona International Speedway. Terry, Zach, the anticipation has probably been building for these guys, getting ready for this season. Can you imagine what would be the feeling going through turn 1 and 2 as this race is starting off? You got jitters? You think they got just strategy playing out in their head? Do they think you got to move out to the back, go to the front, anything like that? Either one of you.
Well, I don't think they're going to have any strategy playing through their head. But I mean, you look at what we start off with. Points really don't mean nothing at this moment. It's early in the season, round 1 Daytona. You know it's a crapshoot. You could get wrecked, and the guy in 30. If 30 cars hit this track, that means 30 cars have an opportunity to win this race. And the only way you can end your race is just to make a bold move early. You have 90 laps. You could ride the bottom, go 2 wide. The only way that I see this playing out is people being patient. It's going to be interesting, but I'm sure there was a little nerves going on because the last time they touched this track, they had 5 cautions, and they don't want to do that again. They don't want to mimic it. They want to lower that down a little bit.
How about you, Zach? We got a car down low off track. Looks like he's going to the back. What about you?
I was about to say, I think that man right there in the 56 has some jitters. He doesn't want to be up front. He doesn't want to have anything to do with that lead pack. But for me personally, I definitely have jitters when it comes to these speedway races. It's the best chance for me to win races. So I definitely want to, as soon as that green flag drops, I want to get to the front I want to make my moves, and then I'll think about my strategy. If I know I can make it to the first stage caution on fuel, so be it. I'll go all the way out. I'll be as aggressive as possible to get those points.
Well, we've seen the 56 drop off there. It didn't look like he had a back bumper, so I think he had some issues there on the start here through the first couple laps. But Wes Fuller, the pole sitter, still out front. John Gunkins, yeah, there's the first butchering of the name. Gutekunst actually sitting second. Kirk sitting third. Denny sitting fourth on the bottom. Chafin now fifth. Santiago sixth. Parker seventh. Stevens eighth. Kobe dropping from fourth all the way back to ninth now. Matt Boone sitting 10th. Matt Smith 11th, and Shad Swartz sitting 12th.
Yeah, and you see Denny out there. He's all by himself with Santiago, and everybody else is trying to get up and work to him. They jumped out to the outside, and I thought that was going to be a very solid move off the initial jump, but I think it's a little too early for this. You got Parkhurst and Stevens and all them down at the bottom pushing Schaefer and Wes. They're doing the best that they can to get up to the front, but at this very moment, you don't need to push too hard. You need to sit back, kind of relax, and you see them going up against the wall. They're not utilizing the side draft just yet, which is a smart move because, well, we're only 4 laps into this race. Put lap 5 on the board when they come across the line this time. So that's something for Zach. Zach, when do you really start using the side draft method? Like, do you wait until about 15 to go when it's go time, or do you want to test it out early just to see, okay, what can I do to get to the end?
For me personally, I don't touch the side draft or anything in the early, probably the first half of the race, to be honest with you. I don't want to push to any issue. I don't want to get close and possibly ruin my race or anyone else's race early. But I usually don't use the side draft till probably about 20, 25 laps to go, in that fuel range, just so I know I can make it. And then I'll make moves, high, low, middle, doesn't matter. As long as you have a partner, you can get it done here. So just make sure you have a group of friends to go with you, because if you're just by yourself or 2 people, it's not going to fly.
I'm actually going to do something here. I'm going to turn the engines down. I'm looking at the stream, and it's very loud for that. So, but we're 6 laps into this race, 90 laps tonight. Not a whole lot of movement going on. Everybody's still 2 by 2 from about row 4 on back. A lot of just, trying to stay in line, trying to not really do a whole lot as far as, making big moves or being super aggressive. Just going to try to tick off some of these laps here as they get closer down to the 90 lap right to make the final run to the finish.
Yeah, the strategy in some of their heads, you see the top 3 have broken away, and then right in the middle you see 2 by 2 racing all the way back from 4th on to the end. Not a whole lot going on, and I kind of expected this to be the strategy that would be played. I don't expect to see single file racing all the way around the track. I expect some of these guys to jump up there to the outside and see how fast their car is early, because practice-wise, we watched them practice. And when they were coming down, they tested out a mock restart. They tested out a mock pit stop. They tested out just about everything that they could to understand what the next-gen cars could bring to the table. And they definitely nailed the paint schemes, guys, because these are pretty good-looking schemes out here on these cars.
Yeah, there's a lot of paint schemes out here. I really like some of these that they threw out. There was a lot of paint schemes I saw popping into the Discord. And we got a caution out on track, so let's try to figure out what's going on here. I'm not seeing a whole lot on screen. I'm seeing the one car and a couple breakups, but I think that was designed by a couple guys there. So we'll go back and look. I see a couple guys that went off track. A whole lot of guys that went off track.
83 got hooked.
Actually, it looked like the 88 of Shad Swatsworth got hooked by Corey Andon there. That was actually a quick turn, too. If we rewind it here, we'll take another look here. Yeah, he definitely got whipped there.
Well, it's good to see early what the bottom of these next-gen cars look like, and it's just a flat plate.
As Shad's up on his hood, that's going to be a fast repair pretty quickly through this race. It looked like Shad dropped down on the apron, actually. When he tried to come back up on, Corey was still in line and had gained momentum based on the driver out in front of him pulling the draft off of that driver, that it pulled him closer to Shad's bumper than he probably thought, or just the reaction time of being on this track. There's so many things that can happen with these speeds. And the draft package with these next gen cars is just insane. The way that the two cars kind of mold together, there's a huge push from tandem as well. So it's I don't know if that was an on purpose thing at all. I don't think that was on purpose at all. I think it's just a product of the next gen car with the amount of draft that it pulls off the car in front of it and the run that you get. With Shad pulling off of the apron just a little, or onto the apron just a little bit there, it pulled Corey, up to the next car, and it just, as Shad tried to come up on track, it just clipped that bumper. At least that's what I'm seeing. Shad or Zach and Terry, you guys seeing anything different? You got any other perspective on that?
No, it definitely looks like he definitely was just a giant accordion effect on the bottom. The draft sucks you so quickly and you can only react so quick. So it looked like he went down just to give him some more space, but he just got hooked in the right rear trying to come back into his lane. And unfortunately, like I said, once you get on the corner panel of these things, it's over.
I'm more surprised that the top 13 stayed on the track. Everybody from 14th on back came down pit lane, obviously. So a lot of differing strategies happen in the early part of this race, and I know we have a stage break in here, but you would have thought that everybody would have came down at one time. Tires really don't mean stuff at a restrictor plate track, so maybe they're just hoping to push it and be on the conservative side of, hey, I can make it on fuel at this moment or whatnot. But that was a little bit of a weird call right there, but to see the field kind of split itself in half.
Yeah, I don't understand that by any means. You can make it on fuel to the end of the stage, and then even when you get to the end of the stage, you can still make it to that second stage. It's the same distance, so that's interesting that they came down and probably got tires, but tires don't mean anything here. Me personally, I don't take tires when I go to restrictor plates. There's just no wear on them. You don't notice the difference. You don't feel a difference. The car doesn't handle any different. So I'm just curious to what the whole back half of the field was personally thinking on that one.
I see a bunch of the drivers that did come down pit road. Those are the drivers that went off track, so I don't know if maybe they're just thinking, cleaner tires, if they flat spotted them, if they were on the brakes, going through the grass or the, jumping it, if they hit that, little turnout there. There could be a lot of different strategies there. Fuel-wise, yeah, it doesn't really make sense because if you take fuel here, you still can't make it to the end of the second stage. You're going to have to take fuel under green or hope for another caution, or you're going to have to come down and get fuel at the end of the first stage break. So regardless, I don't understand it, but, like I said, it could be that they've maybe flat spotted their tires hitting the brakes or, dirtied them up going through the grass, because I saw a bunch of guys popping up and saying, going off track. So that could be the only thing, but fuel-wise, it doesn't make any sense. Tires, yeah, I don't take tires usually at super speedways, but if you're at the back half of the field, does it really matter? You just go down and get tires and fuel and hope for the best, I guess. But we are back under green now as they get on that pedal. Lap 11 now. 79 laps to go here. Strategy-wise, we've only got 14 laps before the first caution's thrown for the stage break. What are you guys thinking for strategy-wise here with it being 14 laps to the end of the stage? Are you one to think maybe the aggression will pick up as we get closer to the end of the stage, so you might want to fall off? Or are you one to say, I want those points, I'm going to go to the front, it's the first race of the season, I don't care, I'm going to go get the points?
So you're going to have to make your move as fast as possible, especially with how this package is in these cars. Look at them. They're 2x2x2x2.
Oh, was that second place that got turned?
He turned him. I was just about to say push like hell and hope that it sticks, and they did that. They pushed like hell, and it didn't stick.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big one there.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, that. There's a lot of apologies coming over the radio there. That was just a push gone wrong. And you know, Zach, I've pushed you a couple times and it's went wrong. Typically in practice, I push you and wreck you. But you know, you're this early in the race, and I know the stage break's coming up here in about 13 laps. Um, that's a bit surprising that we were getting that aggressive. I know it's the restart. We were the first lap there, but my goodness, that dang near took out the field.
Yeah, that's just a product of just trying to get to the front, trying to push as hard as possible, try to get spots, early on a restart because you can just get so many spots as long as you have, make the right moves, but you have to know your limitations and who you're pushing and who you're around. But I mean, I just took out at least a quarter of the field.
I'm trying to get back up to these guys. It's kind of weird on how this thing is picking up the different stuff because a lot of guys went off track, so it's registering the went off tracks before I can get to the part where there was actually an incident. So trying to go back up to, I believe it was Angel that was up front, maybe Mark. So let's take a look here as now I'm on it. The 51 was pushing the 5, and looks like he slid up off the 5 in the corner and touched the 53 and sent that 53 for a ride, which came back on the rest of the field. As we look at it here, just tags that left rear, turns the 53, but the 53 was able to continue, and the rest of the field not so lucky as they just piled up back here. And I mean, there's a lot of guys with damage. Only a few maybe squeaked through. Actually got on the brakes and actually was able to squeak through. But I'm seeing at least 12 guys, 13 guys probably that need to go down and get some damage repaired. As there's some guys missing some front bumpers, back bumpers, some guys with scrapes and bangs and dents, and we're just 12 laps into this race, guys.
Well, and you know, this is also a part of the strategy that we really don't talk about with plate racing. And Zach, I'm sure you could kind of touch on this too, is a lot of people, and we know a couple people that race with us that come out and they're openly aggressive from the initial start, and they force you to either be aggressive or back out. So they'll overly be aggressive to see where you're going to stack up, and they're going to put you in positions to either make you use your fast repair early because they know you're either going to block them, you're going to get wrecked, or you're just going to back out and you're going to sit there, and then a wreck's going to trigger from the beginning no matter what. So there's a lot of different strategies that play within the race. I mean, yeah, you have your fuel mileage, you have, stage points, how you're going to pit, what you're going to do here or there. But there's also the early part of the race, like here we are, lap 13, we're 2 cautions in, and it's I'm going to be aggressive, and you're going to do what? So, I mean, that was 2 people going for the same spot, and just so happens one gets turned, the other one keeps on and charges up. He's sitting up there in the front.
Yeah, going through the rest of the field so far, it looks like Wes Fuller's still out front. Mark Parker's second. Matt Smith, one of the drivers to watch, up there in third now. Corey Kobe, another driver that we were watching from the beginning, and one of the top 5 drivers to watch, sitting fourth now. Guy Clem, 5th. Greg Wood, 6th. Blake Henderson, the owner-admin of the series, 7th. Bryce Boyer is 8th. James Oat is 9th. And John Guntguns is 10th.
But yeah, to touch on what Terry just said, with being aggressive, you really have to know your limitations, or else you're going to force stuff like that. You're already pushing too hard, and you get up on someone's quarter panel and hook them the wrong way. If you're going to hook somebody, at least hook them in the left quarter panel so they have a chance to save it. Because if you're hooking them in the right, the only way he's going is right to the outside wall. But usually when I see really aggressive people, I tend to back out. That's where you see me in the very back, just relaxing, just away from mayhem. But I make my fair share of aggressive moves, but you have to be smart with it. You can't make I guess you can say bonehead moves. But I mean, that wasn't really a bonehead move. He just went up the track just a little bit too much and just hooked them. I mean, it's really unfortunate for him, or not really him, since he's still in the top 5. But 1/3 of the field just got damaged. But good thing with these next gen cars and the composite bodies, I mean, you can take some decent damage and still run fast. But obviously, if no bumper, front or rear, that's a little different.
We're 14 laps into this race, so we've got now, it's going to be 10 to go as we go back green here. There's going to be 10 to go before the stage break. So I don't know about the fuel situation. I don't. I know a lot of guys just came down. They had to because of the damage repairs and stuff. But I'm noticing some guys might have stayed and just got full tanks of fuel. I know putting a little bit of weight in the car, but usually the car goes faster with no weight in the car. So, what would be the point of putting fuel in, Zach?
Maybe to pit under green in the next stage. I'm not too sure. I mean, there's really no difference between fuel in the tank or virtually none. I mean, you don't feel a difference and you don't feel it going faster. And there's a major wreck.
Oh, that's the one. Oh, that's big hits. That's another quarter of the field.
Yeah, I'm seeing Matt Boone. I'm seeing Kevin Gibney, Angel Santiago in it again. Yeah, there's definitely a bunch in this one too. So let's go back and take a look at this one.
Especially after this wreck right here. I mean, I really hope they learn how to relax because we're not even 20 laps into this 90-lap race, and they're racing like it's 5 to go.
That started with the 10. The 10 got to the back bumper, and I thought for a second that we were going to be able to save that. The 32, the 10 went to cut the 32 down. The 32 was not in the mood to let anybody get down in front of him, and that just turned into a parking lot in turns 3 and 4. And it's unfortunate for the drivers behind him because, Kurt, you have nowhere to go. Once it starts clogging up, you're either going to go in the grass, you're going to damage the front end, you're going to lose some speed. It's been a fact that when you go down in the next gen cars, I spun through the grass here in my prelim race for the Podium 500, and it absolutely just destroyed the speed in my car. I had nothing left. I couldn't get anything going for me, and now here we are. And well, a lot of these drivers have used their fast repairs, and we're going to see a lot of people sitting on pit road. But the herd is thinning themselves at this moment. So who knows? By the time we finish this race, we might have like 10 cars 1 lap down.
I'm going to grab the leader. I'm going to grab the leader, Wes Fuller, real quick and just talk to him real quick, see how his race is kind of turning out here as he's led every lap so far. So maybe he can give us a little perspective of what he's seeing on track. Wes, you got a copy. This is Terry, Zach, and Kurt in the booth.
What's going on, guys?
What's going on, Wes? You are leading.
Yeah.
You've led every lap so far, from what we can tell. Very, very fast. Started on the pole. A lot of calamity happening behind you. What are you seeing in your mirror, bud?
Just like you said, calamity. It's been crazy. These guys are going for it. A lot of them aren't for sure how these cars race and drive, and the suck up is huge. And I don't think they're really ready for a suck up quite that big. But man, it's been wild.
Well, some of your teammates have been involved in these. I know Shab was in an incident earlier with Corey Andon. Now I've seen Matt Boone mixed into this one, and then Corey Kobe right there just got turned. So the only teammate still up at the front, it looks like. You're not going to have too much help around you. So are you worried about your teammates being in the back now, or are you just going to keep looking out the front windshield instead of the rearview mirror?
I'm just kind of looking out the front windshield. I'm just kind of hanging in there myself. Really, honestly, I was trying to help Corey right there get down, just at least stay with him, and he kind of thought he was clear and really wasn't. So we were working together, but just kind of that one didn't work out too well.
Gotcha. Well, any questions from you guys, Terry and Zach?
Yeah, Wes, you're watching the herd thin themselves out here. What's going to be your strategy when a lot of these drivers get around you here?
Honestly, my strategy at the beginning was to lead a lap and then fall back. And you see how well that's kind of played out. I've led every lap so far. So I really don't know. It changes from lap to lap. I kind of just got done telling my guys that if I lose the lead or if I fall back to anywhere, I'll probably just fall back as much as I can. But I don't know. As of right now, this being this close to the stage, I might just try to go for stage point
Gotcha. Well,
and
you're
then
going
just kind
into
of fall back after that. So.
all right. Well, you're heading into turn 3 and 4, so I'll send you back so you can talk to the rest of your team before we go green again. But good luck on the rest of the race, and maybe we'll grab you again at some point if you're still out in front.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yep. All right, so you heard it from him. He was his plan originally was just to lead a lap and go to the back, but he's been out front this whole time. Doesn't seem to want to give up that top spot. Probably wants to stay away from some of the issues that some guys are having being aggressive. But we're back on the green now, lap 19, 6 laps to go before the stage break. If we've seen some aggressive driving so far, we may continue to see that as guys are trying to get up here to get stage points. At this point, if you've used a fast repair, I would probably just stay back and maybe just wait it out for the stage break to be over with. But I know some guys are just a little bit more aggressive than I am. I'm not aggressive at all. I'd rather keep a clean car and fall off the pack, but. There's definitely some more aggressive drivers that just love to go up front and try to lead all the laps they can. Zach and Terry, you guys both are usually up front for most of these super speedway races. At this point, with what 3 cautions we've had so far, do you want to stay up front or try to make your way back up front, or do you want to just make it to the stage break?
Like I said,
just follow Zach.
yeah.
Follow Zach and see what happens.
Yeah, Hunter Pete says the same thing. He's like, I'll just follow Zach the whole race.
Trust in
But
Zach.
no, if I'm him, if I'm the leader right now, I'm staying right where he is. I'm not gonna fall back. I'm not gonna pick up any friends right now. It's stay where you are. But if you're in the back and you already used your fast repair, just stay back there. What's there to gain from maybe a point or 2 points? I want the best possible points at the end of the race. Maybe try to test my luck in stage 2. But when I lose my fast repair, I am very conservative and just wait to the very end to make my moves, because if I wreck trying at the end. That's how I see it. I don't want to wreck out now and finish 28th when I could get 8th and wreck out of 4.
I just follow my guys to the front. I know who the fast guys are in practice, and once you actually get into the rhythm of riding around, kind of understanding, feeling the high lane, feeling the bottom, you could try to work it 3 wide. I typically follow Josh Arnold. I'll follow Zach. I'll follow Hunter. I'll get the rhythm of what I'm doing with the faster guys that I know will be there at the end. If you work with them, you're going to be able to go somewhere. You have to gain their trust and their respect too. But like we see right here, 25 of Blake Henderson, he's right to the outside lane. He's got 3 cars helping him, and they're going to try to get up there. Like, they'll get this other pack. They'll get 6 cars all lined up, single file, and they have about 10 cars on the bottom. 1 car is going to jump to the outside. The stage is about to end here soon, and you don't want to get stuck in the sucker hole, Curtis, because this isn't the spot, because you're going to drop all the way to the tail end of this line, and there's no friends once you get to the middle.
I think I could probably be a little more aggressive myself driving. I've made my way to the front before. I just get caught up in other people's stuff and just wound up using my fast repair. So I usually take the sense of just trying to stay in the back and give enough break. If I have enough guys that'll go to the back and actually ride off the pack by a few seconds to where I can still see them, but be able to communicate with those guys and be like, all right, wreck, and we'll slow down and avoid everything. But you really got to trust those guys lined up behind you too, because you can't see nothing out this windshield when you're tucked up on the back bumper, where if you're communicating even with a teammate in your own Discord channel, it's hard to get that out quick enough where it's already happened in front of you and it's just a split second, and hopefully that guy is either peeking out from the side of your car, or you're just that quick at saying, caution or something, and it just doesn't, backfire and run you over or anything else. But even then, it's still an accordion. The guy behind you might, has somebody behind them, and they've got to worry about them, and that guy's got to worry about the guy behind them. So that's why I usually always just hang out in the back. I do like going to the front. I like the excitement of moving from line to line, using the draft, using the side draft, which is very relevant with these next gen cars. The side draft really works with these guys, and it's almost back to the days of tandem drafting. Talking with Blake, who's sitting here fourth on that outside line, or now ducked down on the inside line, sitting fourth. He was talking about tandem drafting, where it's very relevant with these next gen cars, where you can really get on the back bumper of a single car in front of you and really shoot the two of you past a whole group of cars on the bottom line, even if you're on the top line. And I mean, they're trying to use it, the draft, like when we were talking to Wes there, he was talking about the suck up on these cars. That's what I was talking about earlier when Shad got turned, is because he got out of line and got to the apron. Corey was sitting right behind him, but because Shad moved out of the way, we got another car spinning across the front stretch through the grass. Caution out again, and this will be maybe the stage break. Should be.
I was just about to say, I was watching what the 19, what the 25 was doing with the 44 there. They both jumped out of line. They were working their way to what could have been the lead. That could have been the stage win for them. They planned their strategy just perfect. They said, hey, we're going to pull out here, and then we're going to make this run, and that was textbook. I thought it was absolutely perfect to see what these two drivers were able to do, both Fords trying to work their way past the Chevy and the Ford in front of them. But the caution came out, untimely caution for the two of them, as this should be the stage end for all of these drivers. And now we should see the whole field get back on the same strategy, unless the other drivers come down, and their plan is to come down on stage 2 and get some fuel and fill it up with maybe no tires.
Yeah, looking back on this one, I'm trying to figure out who that is in the white car that spins around there. On that inside line, you can see it. The car just he just whips around. That could be a little bit of netcode, but it's weird with these bumpers on these next gens. You cannot push from an angle at all. You've really got to be flush on the back bumper with these cars. I know they talk about in real life where they've got an extra padding on the bumpers to where it's like a cushion. And when the real drivers were talking about getting up on the back bumper of these cars, it was soft, and you couldn't really tell if you were really on the back bumper. So I think they've kind of pushed that into iRacing, and I mean, unless you're really flush and just perfectly lined up, it definitely wiggles that car around. I mean, Terry, I've had you pushing me in races that we did for the Thunder Series for Turn Down for What, and I mean, I was able to hold on to it and things like that, but it really takes the guy in the car in front of you to really, handle that wheel and try to. You're kind of looking out the rear view mirror with also trying to peek out the windshield to make sure you're still in line, but you're really having to pay attention to that rear view mirror for me to judge the opposite side of wherever you were moving in your car. I was going the opposite with the wheel to try to correct from your movements to keep us both straight.
Well, and it also goes with experience level. Out of the three of us, I am probably the least experienced when it comes to road or when it comes to racing, period. My full-time job is broadcasting. I will never openly come out and say that I'm a great racer when it comes to being on the track, but there's certain things that you have to understand. I can go out and practice and keep going, but it's understanding the draft, understanding where you can push somebody, and understanding that when you come off the corner, you can get a good run down the back straightaway, but you have to time it perfect. And I've done a lot of the plate racing, because that's typically what us broadcasters knew. We go out for Daytona, Talladega, iRacing, Super Speedway. When you exit the banking here and you come on the flats of the back straightaway or the front straightaway, that's a perfect opportunity to get a good shot. You come down there, you get the draft, you're holding off through the center of the corner, and once you get back on the gas full throttle off exit, you're able to push the driver in front of you, and you'll get a good run. I pushed you and I've pushed Zach to the lead a couple times here, and I've been pushed from you guys to the lead just by that one shot alone, because it builds the momentum, and it depends on which lane really gets it. But if you side draft from the high side, swing back up, get a good shot, you're gonna catapult to the lead. But it's also gonna shoot you out there pretty far, and you're gonna be a sitting duck at the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I personally have driven a lot of these next gen cars on iRacing Super Speedway, Talladega, a lot of the different super speedways, just because they're usually part of the official or the non-official race for Carburetor Cup. So, I mean, I myself have gotten a lot of practice inside these cars, being able to push them. iRacing Super Speedway is its own monster. And learning to push at that speed in the Gen 6 car before the next gen car came out on iRacing was insane, with 250 plus miles an hour in a cup car on iRacing Super Speedway. You really learn fast on, you know, the way that the cars move, the bumping, the shoving, the draft, the way that the pickup is, the suck up between the cars, and the big giant runs that you get. Then we throw next gen in there, and they're a little bit slower. They're actually almost the same comparable speed to a truck, the Gator trucks, in my opinion, with the amount of speed that they can carry through the track or on the track on the super speedways. So you just, I don't know. It's hard to judge with these cars. They are new. Some of these guys haven't driven these guys or this car as much, and they're probably used to the Gen 6 or even Xfinity or trucks. But it takes a little bit of getting used to.
It does take a lot to get used to. The first car I raced on here was the ARCA cars. They're totally opposite compared to what the ARCA cars could do here to what these cars could do. You're a little bit more stable with these cars, unless you have a driver right there on your back bumper. In the Gen 6 car that was out here, if you got to the back bumper of somebody, you could really make them loose just by the air. You could get up on their back bumper and kind of wiggle your car just a little bit, and the back end would step. But I know one thing, that I believe that was the end of the stage, so now we're going to go into stage 2, and conservative mode should be in effect here, as there's a lot of drivers that use their fast repair, but green flags back in the air. We see 2x2 racing as they come down or going into turn 1.
Yeah, this stage here is going to be 21 laps, I believe. It's supposed to be thrown at lap 50. So we're on 29 now, so they shouldn't have the same amount of laps that they had for the first run. So the second run's going to be a little bit less, so they should make it on fuel. Tires are not an issue on super speedways, but it's going to be interesting to see the guys that did pit there that are going to try to make their way back up through the field. Wes Fuller, who's been the leader for the entire race so far, now sitting back in 5th on that inside row. New leader Nathan Estep sitting up here, or Estep sitting up here in the 55 Ford machine, up 17 positions right now. Dylan McDonald sitting 2nd there on the inside line. He's one of the top 5 drivers to watch for this race, sitting in that 38 machine, 10 spots up. A lot of the guys in the top 10 right now, you've got 17 positions up for the first driver. 2nd place is up 10. 5th place is up 11. 6th place up 17. 8th up 11. 10th up 15. So there's a lot of drivers up here that were not here throughout the middle or the beginning of this race.
You're going to see a whole lot of comers and goers in this one, because you don't know which lane's going to go, and a lot of drivers, if they see the bottom lanes really starting to work, they'll swing down like Blake Henderson just did. The top working, the 44, nor I believe that's the 78 or the 78 of Greg Wood. He was not really making a charge to the front. And Zach, which line are you working at this moment? Are you pulling the strategy that everybody else is doing and going to the bottom, or is this your time to kind of experiment a little bit? I mean, we're in stage 2.
I mean, just depending where I'm at. I mean, if I'm in the tail end of this pack, I'm going to experiment. I'm going to try to make runs and see who's going to come with, who's willing to, who's not. If I'm up front, top 5, top 10, I'm just going to sit there and ride just like these guys are, because look at that. They've created a little gap, as you can see, as the 2nd place and 3rd place car, 4th place car all go out to the outside.
Yeah, that's going to push Wes Fuller, our pole sitter, back up to 2nd place. The 4 cars there tried to go around the leader, but only the front 3 got around. The other 2 are hung out on the outside by themselves. They're looking for help. That outside line is a very fast line, because you don't have to let up at all. The tires don't really scrub off speed being in that higher line. You carry a lot of momentum. But usually at super speedways, that bottom line, we always call it bottom feeding, is where a lot of guys sit. I personally like the outside line myself. I personally don't like the bottom line. I don't like, being squeezed onto that yellow line and having to stay right there. I like having that middle to top line on the top side, to where I can be the one to force the other guy to stay down on the bottom.
Yeah, and the only two wide battle you see is back here between the 37 and the 23. Two cars on the outside. They're trying to make something happen up there, and two very gorgeous paint schemes as everybody else conga lines to the bottom. You have two different separate packs. You have the lead pack, and then you have some damaged vehicles about a second and a half, 2 seconds to the back. So there's a couple different things playing out here. The high side's trying to see, okay, we can stay out of trouble. If they check up, we're not going to be involved. Now, one's going to go to the top. One almost faked to the bottom. He's going to go stay up the high side. So just a little bit here. The patience level has really picked up here. Like there's no sense in getting too crazy. You see the one right here. He's leading that outside charge, hoping to get his way up there. Bryce Bauer, and he's in the 7th place position now. He's now up 13 positions. So trying to get up a little bit more in that Bass Pro Shop #1. Nice little Jamie Murray throwback there. I don't see the outside line working right here with just 3, but they're going to see a little hole in the bottom, and they're all going to swing down.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily make a pick tonight, but I mean, Dylan McDonald, that's the driver I've been watching in ARCs on Saturday nights. Very, very fast. It's a guy, when I came into this league as the broadcaster, I was going through the names, and I was like, I wonder if that's the same Dylan McDonald that I've been seeing on Saturday nights be so fast. He drives the same number, name spelled the same way. When I talked to the owner, he wasn't sure, thought maybe he just was a kind of a rookie coming from the console side. But no, he is a driver from ARCS. He actually just ran the 12 Hours of Sebring on Friday night with 2 other drivers in his team, and they actually finished first in the GT3 class. So very experienced driver overall on ovals, road course racing. So I think he's a driver to watch for the entire season. Matt Smith in that 19 we talked about earlier being the #1 driver to watch during this race. He's actually one of the favorited drivers to win the championship this year, was 3rd in points, like I said, last season without winning a race. And the 7 guys, or the rest of the playoff drivers that were in the field with him, none of them are here in the series anymore. It's just him from the playoffs. So he had 3 runner-up finishes last season, 2 at plate tracks, and then 9 top 5s throughout a 17-race season. That's a pretty good numbers to have, that kind of average through an entire season.
Oh, for sure. All you have to be is consistent. Consistent finishes will keep you up and the top of the points. And as long as you can do that, wins will come. And I mean, it's pretty hard to beat that if you're consistent at plate tracks and mile and a half, short tracks everywhere else. So, I mean, he's definitely a solid pick to watch for not only this race but the whole season.
I think it also goes into the fact that you see it in the real world too. The next gen cars really brought life of what you could potentially see. There's not a whole lot of off throttle time in these cars, so there could be a whole lot of different challenges here. There's a ton of rookies in the field. There's 16 of them that will be racing throughout this season. So there's a lot of different competition that kind of favors in there. I mean, I'm sitting here watching. Blake Henderson's doing a phenomenal job sitting in 5th, and I know they're all single file at the moment, but you have to work your way up here. This isn't just one of those places that, and a lot of people go, oh, it's just plate track racing. You don't have to be good. You just have to be lucky. Well, that's true to an extent, but you also have to have some sort of skill to work the draft through both ends of the lanes. If you can't work one side, you have to work the other. You have to time the side draft perfect. You have to do all sorts of things. It helps to be lucky. I haven't gotten lucky yet, but you have to have all 3 phases work for you. You have to be good, you have to be lucky, and you have to nail a pit stop, which is a challenge in and of its own. Is getting down from 186 to 195 miles an hour all the way down to pit road speed without locking them up. And with the sequential shifter, it's even a little bit more difficult here because you have to shift at the right time with the brake at the same time to understand you can't lock the rears up to get on pit lane.
Absolutely agree. I don't think I have all 3 of those skills that you're talking about there. I think I can pretty much predict my moves, 1 or 2, 3 steps ahead, where I want to go, where I think the cars are kind of running. I kind of watch every driver as we go by through laps to see how they're running into the corner. Are they staying right on that yellow? Are they moving up off the yellow a little bit? Are they kind of diamonding the corners in some of the different tracks? Things like that. So I really watch that, and then my aggression, it really doesn't come out till the end, and I try to baby and try to save that fast repair towards the end just in case. But As far as being good, I don't think I got that one. But do I think I could get up to the front and be up front? Absolutely. On a super speedway, anybody can go to the front. But do I think I can really? I guess have I earned the respect or trust of other drivers? Probably not, because I don't run up front a whole lot. I try to tend to stay in the back and try to stave that fast repair and just try to stay out of trouble, which doesn't usually work for me. I usually get caught up in other people's stuff, so I guess I probably have to switch that mentality. But I would rather be clean. Let somebody else in, give room. I'm the type of driver where I give a lot, and I don't take very much, but I get taken a lot, is what I'm saying. So, yeah, I'm looking at the chat I just saw. Terry, you just put in there, who will win the race? It's a very good question. So far, we've had 3 different leaders, being Wes Fuller being the pole sitter, and then ran most of that first stage, or all of the first stage, and then E-Step took over right after the end of the stage break. Now Dylan McDonald moving to the front. 3 different leaders so far. I don't know. I didn't really make a pick. I would probably say Dylan, because that's who I've been watching through the duels. It's who I've been watching on the ARCS races. I watched part of his 12-hour Sebring run. I think he's really fast. If I had to have picked before this, I would have probably picked Matt Boone, just because I know him so well and have raced with him for 8 years. That where I know how he drives and how he runs these super speedways, and he usually wins a lot. So I would have probably picked him, but I mean Dylan. That's who I've been watching a lot the last couple leagues that I've been doing, and I really think he definitely has a shot here.
Well, I think a lot of these drivers they have a good shot to win. And you talked about aggression, and you talked about people who's kind of understood what plate racing does. Josh Arnold just joined the chat, and he called himself the guru. So obviously, I'm going to ask him who's going to win.
That's what I
this
call
race.
him.
Yeah,
I always call him the super speedway guru, because he seems to win or be right there at the front almost every single time. He's like Zach. I would follow either one of them, because both of them they always seem to be right there at the end of the race in the top 3, top 5, battling for wins. If not, they win the race. So, I mean, how many guys can claim that they've won a super speedway race under fuel mileage without power to the car rolling on the front stretch of Talladega and actually won? Only J-Paw is the only one I know of.
Say he's the only one I know of too. I haven't even done that one.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Every time I'm around that 22, I seem to either get wrecked or I wreck it. So I try to stay away from the 22 as much as possible.
J-Paw probably is saying the same thing.
Yeah, I'm sure he hates seeing me anywhere near him at this moment. But he is very fast, and he understands it. And I see right here the 37 of the 23 just jumped to the outside. They got the 8 right behind him, and that 8's had some speed. I know we haven't talked a whole lot about Marcus, but he was one of our drivers to watch too. And he's been consistently sitting back there, biding his time, making a rhythm, making mental notes about what you can do. And you have to understand what the pack can do. Because, oh, there's a car on the wall. That was a hard shot. Oh, 23's in the wall. That should be a caution.
23's in the wall. I'm not even seeing a 23 on the roster, so
DJ Anderson.
All right.
DJ Anderson takes a hard hit, and I believe they are slowing down.
Yeah, caution's on the track, guys. Caution is out for that.
What a hit. That was it triggered from a car in the wall right in front of him. Couldn't figure out who that was. There it is right there. And the first ever, is this the first ever KS Gaming space program?
It's possible. I might have to put that in there, because I didn't think we went to the moon very often, but he definitely just took a trip himself. He might have to call NASA and figure out when he's going to land, because that was a very spinning. I mean, it kind of reminds me of going to the fair or a carnival or something and getting on the spin ride. That I'm sure he's a little seasick inside that car.
Man, I think you tried to imitate your brother from earlier in the race, being turned in and flipping.
That was a tough hit. I mean, honestly, that was that right there. I mean, the fact that he had to tow You know, he obviously couldn't get it around. He went head first into the wall. That's potentially going to end his night unless we see a bunch of cautions trickle down and if he had the fast repair or not left. The drivers here, I don't foresee anybody pitting, and obviously I'm not the expert, but you got 18 cars on the lead lap, and like Josh said, the 22 is going to get the wave around here, which is huge. That's going to put 19 cars on the lead lap, and that's going to leave Anderson there to hopefully be the next car one lap down if all things settle out with him.
Yeah.
This has been a crazy race, Curtis, from the initial jump, and we've seen a lot of aggression, but it started kind of chilling out a little bit until they started catching lap traffic, and that's something you never really hear at Daytona is you're catching lap traffic, but when you do, you expect them to be courteous and move to the outside. That didn't happen there.
Yeah, I know why Josh is rooting for the 22. I think we all three know why he's rooting for the 22. Even
The
says
slowest car.
He even says the 22 has extra speed. So
Is it a yellow 22?
I don't know what Gary's actually running. I don't know. I don't think he has a. Is it yellow? No, it's not yellow. So it's kind of tealish.
I got an idea. Let's pull the 22 up here. It's the free pass.
All right. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's get him. I got him.
Oh, you got him? All
Gary,
right.
what's up, man? Well,
Gary, you got a
Gary.
copy?
Yeah.
All right, so you got a fan out there rooting for you, and you don't know who he is. His name is Josh Arnold. You're running his favorite number of all time. How's the car feel, man? Are you picking up what you want to do? You're the free pass here.
No, I got some damage early, which I spent several stops having to fix, and the car was still slow. So hopefully I get some new tires right here and improve some positions here for the stage.
5.
Well, you
4,
got a guy out there that
3,
says that you're going to win this race, and I know I'm
1.
probably bugging you while
Stop
you're
on this.
trying to pit, but
Stop,
hey,
back
you
it
did
up,
it.
back it up,
You're the
back it up,
oh,
back
you
it up,
missed
back
it.
it up, back
I was
it
about to
up.
say you just
Alright,
were the
stop right
first
there.
person I
Push.
ever talked to that made it onto his pit box without having to back up, but apparently that's not the case.
No, that was the first time I've done that.
Yeah, it's the
commentator curse.
Yeah.
Sorry about
Yeah.
that.
You guys got me that time.
Well, now you can say that you've been jinxed by a broadcaster.
Perfect. For my fan out there, I appreciate it, and I hope I can make him happy at the end of this.
Well, I've got him labeled as the Super Speedway Guru. It's kind of a running thing in a different league where he's very, very good at Super Speedways. He only runs the 22 car, so and I think I don't know, 5 or 6 years that I've been racing in the console side, now iRacing side with J-Paw or Josh Arnold there. I don't think I've seen him drive any other car besides the 22, so that's why he's rooting for you, but I'm sure he's hoping that 22 comes to victory lane. He takes the victory lane an awful lot too, so definitely rooting for you, and hopefully we see you at the end of the night here. You got the free pass back on the lead lap. Looks like you just used your fast repair, so should be able to make up some time now and get back to the front with 44 laps to go?
Yeah, we got a couple laps left in the stage, and then it'll be a sprint to the end. So I hope he can pass some of his luck off onto me, and I can bring this thing home in victory lane.
Well, good luck on the rest of the race, bud.
He's rubbing somebody's head for you right now.
So we got 3 laps to go before the stage 2 break, guys. So it should be interesting who makes moves and if we see possibly the first 3 wide racing for this in this race so far.
Well, when you say 3 wide, I instantly think of you, Zach, because you're typically one of the first people to take it 3 wide. So who knows? Hopefully they take it 3 wide here and we see some good clean racing. I see that Tide car. I see the Tide car being the one to take it 3 wide here.
You're looking at Corey Kobe in that Tide car in the 10. Huge Ricky Rudd fan. I've known him for several years over on console side, known as Watt Racing. Real name Corey Kobe. Over here in iRacing now, he's the co-owner of Kobe Boone Racing, that has Corey Kobe, Matt Boone, Chad Swatsworth, and Wes Fuller, who's sitting there third in that 5 car we've seen leading a lot of this race. Now on the bottom line there, I don't think he'll take it 3 wide just yet. He did finish second in the duels, though, so he's very good at staying alive, waiting for the last lap to make those passes. Was was able to survive the giant, massive Days of Thunder crash going into turn 3 in the duels and brought home second place. I believe Gutenkunst actually won the duel, so very good driver there in the 10 car.
Well, here you see it, new leader, and now we're going to have a battle for the lead where you see Dylan McDonald going to the bottom. It's going to be side by side with Blake Henderson. He had a run to the lead for a second, but that time it's McDonald who leads it, with Henderson trying to side draft his way to the front. They come into turns 1 and 2. You see the 5 lock there to his bumper, the 32 lock to the high sides bumper. They're going to slip just a little bit, but finally, 2 by 2 they go all the way through the field as we're coming to 2 to go on the stage.
Blake Henderson's actually the admin that I've been talking with. He's helped me with a lot of stuff for graphics and stuff, and he's out of Atlanta, Georgia. He's got the quote of Highline gets the girls, and he's up on the high line right now, being pushed by the 32 of Mark Parkhurst right now up there. But the 38 and 5 are working well together on that bottom line. Dylan McDonald taking back over the lead where he was before that last caution. Wes Fuller back on the back bumper of Dylan before the last caution. Also, what is that, the 98 of Matt Stevens down there on the bottom with that blue and yellow 98, also still in the same spot as he was before that caution. So those three have lined up again, and they are going to start going. We've got another caution out on track, trying to figure out where it's at. It looks like it's a 94 maybe.
That should end the stage. So 2 stages down, Curtis, and cautions in the stage for the drivers. And I'm sure that's not what the everybody wanted to see. I saw that once again the 25 gets bit by the caution. He had 2 potential runs that could have set him up to come around the outside. And I'm curious, he has a little bit of nose damage there, Zach. How hard is that to have a lead car with just the smallest of dents in the front bumper?
I'm not gonna lie to you. With these cars, a small little dent in the front bumper is not gonna change anything. Maybe a mile per hour, but you don't even notice it. I mean, when I did the NIS Daytona 500, I was able to push a guy who with a completely smashed front bumper all the way to the lead on the outside just by hooking up with him past the entire inside line. So it's possible. It's not really going to change anything, but I mean, he should be fine.
This is going to get interesting, boys, because you see the caution happening there. And now we set ourselves up for, they're going to have to make a pit stop, Curtis. There's going to be hopefully 1 green flag stop in this race, and that could make or break what we see towards the finish here. And I want to go back to what the 25 had as his thing, as the high line gets the girls. You're absolutely right. It's actually how I met my wife. You take the high line every time, you get the woman of your dreams.
I guess that must be
I don't know
true
if she agrees.
since I just got engaged. That has to be true because I just got engaged, 2-3 days ago.
That's what I'm saying. See, and who's typically on the high side? Zach, me, Kurt. We're all up there, baby. We got our girls.
Yeah. Well, Zach, huge congratulations for you. I saw the pictures and stuff popping up. Sent you some congratulations there. Definitely cool to have you join the club of going down the aisle. I won't do to you what a lot of people did to me in unfortunately, my first marriage, which was, a lot of guys were just sitting there saying, don't, and, throw it in your head. Luckily, I got the better one on the second one, and a lot of guys were saying, do it. You're never going to find something better. So, yeah, I mean, you obviously made the right choice. Seems like you guys are really, really happy, so congratulations on that engagement again. I'm sure you're ecstatic, so I'm sure it was a great weekend. And luckily, she let you jump on iRacing on 2 days afterwards. So,
yeah, right. Well,
that's exactly
I'll have
how
to go back to work tomorrow. So that's one of the reasons why I'm back home.
You consummate your engagement is jump on iRacing. I mean, mine doesn't like it too much back when I'm back here until she started seeing the kind of stuff that you get to do with it. And once you start getting to talk to people, it begins to be a little bit more fun here.
No, my girl actually, it's actually funny you said that because my girl actually encourages me to do this. She actually finds joy in me, racing in, multiple leagues and different days in the week. She asked about it, how I did and all that. So it's sweet to see that she actually cares about, a hobby that I really take seriously and try to have fun with the boys every few days, every few nights,
Well, We could have way worse hobbies. At least she knows. Oh, I guess at least all of our wives know where we're at. We're not out at the bar. We're not out, with the guys drinking somewhere or partying somewhere, or out of cell phone range or doing anything bad or nothing like that. They can always find us right here. My sister's husband. That's what she always says about him. She's like, I know exactly where he's at every night. He's sitting at his desk playing his computer game, so I never have to worry about him. He's always there.
It's a simulator.
Well,
Right.
he doesn't play iRacing. He plays a bunch of different first-person shooters and builder games and all kinds of other things. So, but yeah, she always knows where he's at. So.
And won't you look at that? Guess who's in the lead in the 83? Matt Boone.
The Dr. Pepper machine is up front. Matt Boone taking over the lead after the end of the stage break there. This could be a big jump for the Kobe Boone racing team. I'm seeing Dylan McDonald still there. Another teammate of Boone's, though, is that 5 of Wes Fuller that we've been talking about and seeing up front so much. He's now sitting third on the inside row, right behind Dylan, who's going to line up right behind Matt Boone in this 83. Normally, we see Matt Boone in that 38, which is sitting right behind him with Dylan McDonald right now. They are looking. Those two are probably looking for their other two teammates. Corey Kobe back in 14th right now, down 10 positions from his starting position, and Shad Swatsworth back in 23rd, down 10 positions from his starting position. But he's been in a few different little accidents there, gotten clipped early on in the race. So hopefully those guys will be able to make it back up here and compete with their two teammates. I'm sure they'd love the help up here with the 56, 25, and 32 on the outside line. Some pretty good drivers on that outside line. Blake Henderson, like we said, talking about loving to be up on that high line, was able to work past some of these guys on the high line and took the lead for a minute there before moving back up to the high line and giving it up to the 38.
Well, I tell you, this final stage is going to slap harder than Will Smith across Chris Rock's face because the 56 just got a massive push from the 25. That Body Army Ford pushed the mess out of the Cheetos, and I couldn't think of a better pairing than now Cheetos and Dr. Pepper wash it down with a body armor here as the top two are going to separate themselves from the field. It's going to clear the outside lane, try to get the 38 of Dylan McDonald with them. And the pushing is just going to get even crazier here as you see everybody jockey for position. There's not a whole lot of cars here, so the drafting, the package is going to be a little bit different, but don't push the pusher. There goes the 38 all over the back bumper.
Yeah, I don't know what to do from here. 53 laps into the race, you've only got, a 37-lap run. You're going to have to make a pit stop through here. Hopefully it's going to be a green flag stop. We can have a long run here and get the green flag stop done and see how this shakes out. Those green flag stops are very important. Zach, we've seen you guys in the J-Pop Militia group, take a different strategy and try to off-cycle pit from the rest of the field to where you guys all get together, you line up, you go down pit road, you get the fuel, and you guys all come out lined up again, and you guys can just continue that momentum and speed. Oh, and the 38 and 83 make contact, and it's going to spin the 38 across the field. Oh, yeah, I think that's going to bring out another caution. There it is.
And I believe the 25 was in that. That was tough. That was a tough hit. The backwards number smacked one another. And Dylan McDonald has disconnected. Greg Wood is gone, and we're not going to have a repeat winner from the duels as John Gutenist, if I believe I said that one correctly, I don't believe I did, he has disconnected as well. He would be 6 laps down and 24th respectively.
Yeah, this one, I don't know what happened here. Looked like these two just kind of made contact. I don't know if it was netcode or if it was something else here, but
it's a naughty word. That's
yeah,
a naughty
I don't
word.
like it either, but it is what it is now. It happens.
iRacing, don't give him a hand slap for that one.
I'm trying to see where. I know they made contact, but it was so brief.
You might have to go to above head cam because it looked like he just pushed him and got him out of the groove and tried to follow him, and didn't realize that car on the outside was there and just absolutely slammed him into the wall.
All right, here we go. Now,
Oh.
that naughty word you were saying was definitely part of that one. You can see the car where they were not actually touching, and the car shook to the left, and then
Naughty.
it
Naughty
looked like
word.
Matt tried to correct it, and it just snapped on him and turned. Looked like he kept going, but the 38 could not correct it and spun into the wall, and then came across the field, and unfortunately, a couple others were part of that.
So I will say, at least on the bright side, that 25 who absolutely destroyed the side of the 38 still has his fast repair. So he's not out of the race. He's still going. So at least that's a plus for him.
This is going to put the lone Canadian out to the lead in that 56. Dean Clavitt now up in the front, up 13 positions from a starting position. Terry, you want to go ahead and grab him real quick, and we'll see if we can get him to give us a little rundown of what he's looking at for the rest of the race.
Can we sing "Oh Canada" together?
You can sing all you want. I'm not
love
singing.
I love that song.
If you can get Dean to sing it, maybe. I don't know the
All
words,
right.
and I'm not singing.
Here
so.
we go. I got you. You ready?
Oh, no, please don't.
Hey, Dean, it's Terry, Curtis, and Mr. Zachary Meredith in the booth, man. What's up?
No, just trying to win.
Well, I want you to grade me scale to 1 to 10. I'm obviously, born and raised in Tennessee, and I'm a big fan of Canada. So, oh, Canada,
Oh, jeez, I'm
our home.
Dean, you can definitely mute him if you'd like.
land.
Yeah,
We
we're
can just cut you right there.
we're trying to bring you up to the booth here because lone Canadian in the field, you are at the front in that hot Cheeto machine. You've got the hot tires, got the hot car out front now. 33 laps to go. What's your expectations in the rest of the race here? You're going to have to do a pit stop at some point, I believe, because you don't have enough fuel to make it to the end. What is the rest of the race strategy for you, bud?
Don't wreck.
Well, you're up front, and that second position has not been the kindest. We've seen some people turn from that position, so you're going to have to either make your way out in front of that 5 machine that's been very fast of Wes Fuller, or at least maybe duck in behind him. But been a very good race so far, bud.
Yeah, it's not been too bad. I mean, just been trying to stay out of trouble and all that. And I got Mark behind me. He's my teammate, so that's why I'm picking the high side here. So I'm just got to keep it clean, and hopefully we can bring this home for a victory.
Do you want to finish "Oh Canada" with me? I mean, it's such a great song. If you win, let's make a deal. If you win, we sing "Oh Canada" together. But you
Okay,
have to win, all right? We got to do it all together.
Can we just
All
have
right, that
him
sounds
sing
fair.
it? Because I know
No,
you're
you
singing.
can do it together.
Look, yeah, good luck out there. You've had a fast car, and we believe in you here. What was the reason for the outside here? That the Cheetos machine trying to slip around? I know it's not easy being cheesy.
It's not, but I got my teammate Mark right behind me, and I got my other teammate Guy not too far behind. So hopefully we can make something happen here.
Go get it done, brother.
Thank you.
All right, Terry, Zach, we got
Hi, Dale.
33 laps. Terry, just send him back. We got 33 laps to go. Pace car is ducking on off. 5 and 56 leading the field to the green flag here. I don't know what they're going to do. Like I said, they got to do a 1 pit stop here. Do you come down with 25 to go? As we were told, 27 is about the limit they can go on the fuel tank. Do you come down with 27, 25 to go? Maybe 24 if you want to maybe think of a green-white checkered at the end and just try to get your fuel and then be done with it? Or do you wait till it runs out?
I want to find my friends because I don't know about you, but this field
See,
is
that's
really
where
small.
that strategy
so I don't
comes
know
in
how
with
many
friends.
you have left. So you got to find friends, and for me personally, the way I always do it with me and my buddies, first car on pit road, I promise you wins the race in that last stint. So I'm probably looking at 24 laps to go, just so you have that extra 2 laps of gas. If anything, a caution comes out, you save a little bit more. Maybe you have enough for a second green white checkered, but that's how I would picture it.
I'm doing exactly what Zach said. I'm going to find my friends, and then you're just going to play. Okay, what lap do we go down? How do we figure out what we got to do? I potentially want to wait all the way to the end. I want to push it all the way till we got about 2 laps to go in fuel, and then you try to see who's going to pit with you, or you just wait till the lead pack goes. You see 2 different packs, very distinctive here. If you see that first pack come down, you go for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to look through the packs here. We got 2 different packs going on, and they're kind of jumbled up with teammates. The first pack, I'm trying to see where the line is. I guess it's the top 7 are in that front pack, and then the next group has only 5 in it, which takes it back to, I believe, Corey Kobe is in the 3rd pack, and there's a 4th pack back there. But there's definitely some separation going on, and I'm not sure if it's save mode time or what they're doing, but I don't know if maybe they're just trying to separate each other so that the lead pack can fight it out and maybe wreck each other and that second pack can sit there. These next gen cars, I did notice that you can lose the draft very easily. If you let off just a little too much, you can definitely lose that pack. So I don't know if the 5 just let off a little bit trying to get gathered up together. I'm not seeing too many teammates mixed in that 5, or that 5 pack back there. So I don't think that would have been a strategy move, but it's possible.
Well, you see the gap right there from the front end of the 25 all the way up to Dean Clavitt in the 56. It's 2 seconds. It's a flat 2 seconds. It's a second and a half till they get to Marcus Chafin back there in the 7th place position. So the top 7 has broken away. 8th through 11th sits in this pack here. And they're not catching much of a draft once you start seeing a second at 1.3. They're gaining on them a little bit down the back straightaway. But once they get through the center of the corners, the numbers start to show themselves. So you're stepping out of line, catching the draft from the car in front of you. The car comes down. You're kind of working the draft just a little bit more. They're not nose to tail like the front pack is. So I think that's going to be a big difference here. Is now that looks like the lead pack starting to trail break a little bit because it's went under a second. You're starting to see them catch back up. A little bit of bump draft and tandem drafting going on here in the second pack.
I would not be shocked to see if that second pack gets a whiff of the draft that they make a move to the outside and try to go all the way up to the front and stay side by side until we do green flag pit stops.
I would think the same thing. I wouldn't even. I don't think I would tow along with the front pack. I would go right around the outside and try to go as far as I can to the front. I don't know. It kind of depends. I don't think anybody can make it with fuel. You'd have to save 5 laps on a run. That would be a lot of laps to save in one fuel run. I mean, lining up. Oh, they were close. That was a last-second move by Blake Henderson as he moved to the high line now. But nobody else came with him that was in that 5-pack besides the Dr. Pepper machine back there of Matt Boone. Now Henderson gets back down. It's going to leave Boone out on the outside line by himself. He's going to have to go to the back of this full now pack of about 12 cars.
Well, and I'm not going to say that Blake Henderson just ran the fastest lap of the race, but he ran the fastest lap of the race with a 46.45. He got one hell of a draft around this 2 points. I believe it's 2.6 miles around here. He took off. He flew out like a cannon and got around these drivers, worked to the outside, put his way back to the bottom, and was able to make it stick. He was a single car and passed about 4 of them until he settled into the position that he's in now in 6th. So impressive running so far. And I talked about trail breaking a while ago. Don't be surprised if you start seeing the gap like what you see between the 37 and the 3, where the car in front or behind likes to trail break up to the front the front bumper of the car behind them. Then they work a push all the way through there to build that momentum. We're going to see a lot of crazy things start to happen, and right at this moment, you're getting in position to be the first on pit lane, and then first in, first out, you have a chance of winning the race to maybe flip some track position here.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the pit cycles right now. We've got the front 5 are on 14-lap run right now, and then you got Blake Henderson on a 10-lap run. Then Matt Smith on a 15, then 10, 10, 9, and 10, and then a bunch of 9s and 8s. So those guys have about 6 laps extra of fuel compared to the front 5. do you run those extra 6, or do you pit at the same time as that front 5 to grab that fuel? I think at this point, my strategy would be I'm going to run it out to where I've only got to put maybe 1.5 in the tank.
No, for me, it's this whoever goes on pit road first. As long as you know you can make it from there, I'm going.
So you're going to try to go in with all of the guys that are pitting at the same time and hope that nobody bumps another guy or wrecks you or runs you over or anything like that. See, that's where I'm not. That's where I'm not good. I guess I'm more of a conservative.
That's where you have to mic up with the drivers and you have to plan it out for a few laps. What lap you want to target? Like me and my I guess so-called militia like to point out we'll stay up by the line, we'll go by the wall, we'll go in the middle, we'll stagger it so we don't run into each other. That's what they need to plan out if they're all going to do a big pack. But first car on pit road or first pack on pit road, I promise you, is going to be the pack that ends up top 5 or top 10.
Even if it's a small pack, so if like 3 guys come down, you think they're going to be able to handle 9 to 12 other guys if they pit together on a second pack pitting?
I would say the minimum would be 4. I would have to say you can at least have to have 4. I've seen 4 cars break away from an entire pack before, just doing NIS, public lobbies doing the 200 lap races. So it really just depends how well they get on and off pit road. Make sure you execute it. Don't miss your box. Don't speed. And then most importantly, don't spin out off of pit road. I've seen numerous people do that, trying to go too fast, trying to get out and save as much time.
Yeah, looking at the speeds here, Matt Boone was going 183 at the very back of this pack. He's kind of laid off a little bit. As we go further up, you've got 188, 187, 193. Going back to Matt Boone, right around 187 again. He's kind of hanging off. I don't know if he's going to wind up losing the draft there, but I don't know if he's just conserving or if he's just trying to wait off the pack enough to where if there is a caution or a spinning car out in front of him, he can slow down. Matt's the strategy guy for me. As far as following you as being, picking and choosing where you're going and being able to follow you to go to the front, Matt's always the guy that I'm watching for strategy-wise. So I don't know what his strategy is.
Well, he stayed right on the back bumper of that Ally machine there, the 98, just up ahead, or the lap machine at the 48 right there. And it's a good little draft that he's picked up. And he's able just to sit back there. This is the time where he's conserving fuel. He doesn't have to be full throttle, which is why you see him at 182, 184. He's burping it a lot. He'll let off the gas, let the draft pull him, and then when he decides to go back, when he feels like he's starting to lose the draft, it's time for you to go. And you see the separation in between this bottom pack here. I'm looking right here at the 25. He's off of the 37. The 19's off of his back bumper. They're just having to feather it just a little bit, letting the draft play its momentum. I mean, right here, Blake Henderson's going 186, but I don't see any throttle going on. I'm looking at his RPMs. There's not a whole lot happening. So roll through there. The sun's starting to set. We should start to see some daytime race or nighttime racing start to happen within the next 10 laps. The strategy doesn't differ here. I mean, the track's going to cool down substantially. Tires still don't mean anything. So unless you absolutely just slide them down pit lane, I think one of the drivers in this pack right here is going to win it, unless we potentially see a caution, because 12th on back's 18 seconds behind now.
Yeah, looking at the car logos based on the top 10 right now, you've got Chevy, Chevy, Ford, Chevy, Chevy, Ford, Chevy, Chevy, Toyota, Toyota. So at least two Chevys lined up in two different rows there, with a Ford in between each one, and then you've got 2 Toyotas lined up, and then a Ford, Toyota, Ford, 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 Chevy, Chevy, Ford, Ford. Some guys,
those 2 Toyotas for actually sticking together. I mean, those are the only 2 Toyotas in this entire field, and they're here at the end after dodging some massive wrecks in this race.
I'm seeing 3 actually. Andon, Steven, and Anderson are all running 3, but Anderson, I think, is a free agent, not part of a team. So, looking
there you go. Even 3, all 3 are right there.
Yeah. So looking at the Toyotas, That would be Newfound Glory Motorsports of Anderson, Whitlock, and Andon. So those are teammates right there as well.
And I'm not expecting
Oh,
to
big
see...
wreck of Boone.
Oh, right when I was about to say
that
I
Boone
wasn't
and
expecting
Chad?
to see a caution, there's a dang caution.
I think that's Boone and Chad. That's two teammates wrecking down the corner there.
And I can hear it now. Spotter, clear, clear, not clear, not clear. Damn, you're in the wall.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look at that one. I don't know
Yeah,
how that one happened, but
yeah, going back and looking at it, it just looks like Boone just goes up, just right up into him. He doesn't hold his line in the middle. Goes up about half lane higher and just hits Shad right in his left rear and puts himself in the wall.
And that, kids, is why you don't self-clear yourself in iRacing.
actually, I don't. Was that Boone that was in that? It looks like he got turned from the 38. Or is this the wrong caution?
Yeah, you're
it's
looking at the
wrong caution.
older caution.
Well, Boone was in the last two of them, so let me go back and look here. All right, that looks a little better. So Boone's going to make a huge run on the outside, passes the 48, passes the 98, gets alongside the next car, lap car coming up of Shad, tries to get a little lower, and then all of a sudden just doesn't, I don't know. There's not much.
He just goes up.
Shad couldn't go much higher there, so I think he just wasn't ready for the car to come up on him so fast, and he also had the guy on the inside line, and he didn't give enough room.
He just moved up half a lane higher. I mean, all he had to do was just keep his right sides on that black line, and you could see when he gets close to Shad, he just literally almost body slams himself into him.
Well, those are two teammates, so hopefully
that should be an interesting team meeting after this race.
I'm sure it's an interesting conversation going on in the team channel right now. Now we're gonna have 18 to go. These guys are gonna get that last pit stop. Everybody's gonna be able to make it. I don't think you need tires. You just take the fuel, come out and get the position. Tires don't really do a whole lot. I mean, if you have super old tires, if you have not changed the tires all race and you're mid-pack to the backpack before, lap down car, if you're still on the lead lap, does it hurt to go ahead and take tires just for sake of it?
If I'm in the very back, why not?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would go ahead and just throw 4 tires on it, throw that extra rubber on there. If you're already in the back of the pack anyways and you're not a lap down, go ahead and take the fuel and the 4 new set of tires and see if it gives you a little extra grip or something. I mean, the lights are going to go down, or lights are going to come on, sun's going down, track's going to cool down a little bit. We're going to have a little bit more grip on the track. I would probably just go ahead and throw the tires on. If I'm at the front, of course, I want position, so I'm going to be in there as short amount of time as possible in that pit stop.
So I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling that we should pull in this leader again because he's up front with only 17 to go.
Yeah. Terry, go ahead and grab that Canada Canadian back in here.
You're the one that wanted to do Old Canada.
You said if he wins, you're going to be singing at the end of the night. So might as well pull him in here and make sure that deal's still good with 17 laps to go now.
All right, here we go. Yo, Dean, what's up, man?
Hey, we're back.
You're back. Listen, buddy, you got 17 to go. It'll be 16 when you cross this line. You only got to hold off some fast guys. I mean, you got Wes Fuller, who's led the most laps so far in this race, and you got the league owner behind you with a fresh Mustang. Can the Cheetos machine hold them off, or are you going to get slippery on some of your dust?
I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's been a pretty crazy race, and yeah, we'll see what happens. But I trust the guys around me, and got some teammates right behind Blake, so I think we'll be okay.
Well, I'm just going to give you one piece of advice because you're in the 1776 motorsports camp. Is it's only real American if you listen to Hulk Hogan's entrance song and you do it for Dale. So go back to your chat and tell him you're doing it for Dale, baby.
Of course, I'm doing it for Dale. I always do it for Dale.
Well, hell yeah, brother. Well, let's get you back to your chat and go out there and win this race.
10-4. Thanks, guys.
That was not the most American interview. I don't know what these fans are wanting. I don't know. There needs to be a bunch of American flags in the chat.
Yeah, talking to a Canadian though, so I don't know if that was the best idea.
1776
Wes in if that's the
motorsports,
case.
baby. Hey, green flag back in the air, boys. It's time to go racing with 16 to go on this board.
16 to go. HTL's opening race for this season 2 in the next gen cars. It's been an eventful night so far. We've had 7 cautions. A lot of guys are taken out of this race. A couple guys are still in the race with some damage, but still moving along pretty fast. One of them, Matt Boone in that 83, still back there sitting 11th right now. Got some damage on there, but he's still coming. The rest of the field up front looks pretty clean, especially the 5 of Wes Fuller, who's been at the front majority of this race, along with the 56 and 25, and now takes the lead with the 8 of Marcus Chafin, one of our drivers to watch through the field, as we talked about in the pre-race, out there on the high side, starting to make some momentum and make some moves as he goes to the front.
We haven't seen him all race long. He's been mired back in traffic, and now he finds himself leading at Daytona, 15 to go. I was right initially. 15 laps to go. They cross here. They go through turns 1 and 2. It'll still be side by side for the lead. There's no more give here. It's all take. As now the sun's starting to set, and insert Uncle Cracker and Kenny Chesney, the sun goes down, and it's going to get hotter. The racing's starting to pick up. You're about to see some 3-wide action as they go down the back straightaway.
Yeah, these guys are flying around here. I was actually going to say we could take a break for just a minute before this ending, but I really want to show that screen, but this action's crazy here with 15 laps to go. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it in there. Blake Henderson, sitting back there in the 4th, in the 25 machine, made this for me, so I'm going to jump to it real quick. It's just a quick commercial. We'll be right back for the last 14 laps of this race.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
All right, back from that commercial break. Like I said, I had to throw it in there. Blake did an awesome job creating that for me. Did it last night, actually. So definitely enjoyed seeing it come through and putting it in. I thought it was an awesome idea. Actually, Byron Jones gave me the idea of doing a side-by-side. I did it by myself, and it looked all right. And then I showed the owner, and he's like, give me a second. Let me make something for you. And within 10 minutes, he sent me that graphic to do a side-by-side with all that on there. So really appreciate that. Great owner. Great start of a relationship here to build for this season. 23 races. I'm going to be kind of flip-flopping broadcasters in the booth with me. You guys were in the booth with me tonight. Really have enjoyed it so far with 12 laps to go. You guys are both welcome anytime you guys are available to be back into the booth. Always would love to have you guys back in here. There's a few other guys I know that have posted saying, hey, I might jump in for a race or two. So we'll just see what happens throughout the season. But anytime you guys are available, definitely send me a message, and I'll let you know if I've got 2 or 3 or 4 people in the booth already or something. But I'd love to have you guys back in the booth anytime.
Well,
Of course, I appreciate it.
The 19 just tried to make a move to the outside, Kurt. He can't make it go. There's got one car behind him. The 8 of Marcus Chafin trying to make a run out there, but 2 cars are not going to trump the 10 that sit on the bottom. It is single file racing down here with the 5 of Wes Fuller, Dean Clavitt, our Canadian friend, running P2 right here, and it's time to start making moves. You got 10 laps to go when they cross this line. Here we go to the outside. There goes the Canadian in the 56, and now he's going to swing back to the bottom
A
on
lot
the
of
5.
blocking going on. Looking like Joey Logano out there in that 22, or Josh Arnold. But yeah, I don't know. Zach, when's the time to go? I mean, you've seen the racing
Now.
tonight. Tonight now? Okay.
Now
Well,
it's 10 to go. Every man for himself. You got to find your friends where you find them and make moves.
does it matter where you're at in the field before you make that move?
Nope. If I'm in the back, I'm going to the front. If I'm in the front, I'm trying to stay up front.
So
Throwing
what if you're
blocks
sitting
any
third
way I
right
can.
now?
If I'm in third,
Yeah, do you still want to go to the front right now, or do you want to kind of...
if I'm third, if I'm the second car on the bottom line, I'm staying right there pushing that leader to see if he can, get ahead of that top side. And
Oh, and he gets the leader a little bit loose.
Block, he takes the log. Takes the lead, I'm sorry.
Whew.
That
5
almost
got real loose
hairy.
right there.
Yeah, that almost got here. He got to the back bumper of Wes Fuller, couldn't make it stick. He got squirrely, falls back to the 6th place position. Now you have the high lane. There's Blake Henderson. He's getting a shot from Matt Smith, and they're wrecking. 48's around to the 98.
Whew.
No caution.
No caution. They spun off track, so they're going to keep it going here. 9 laps to go. As we go through the front stretch, turns 1 and 2. 25 of Blake Henderson still out front, moving from lane to lane, going from the bottom lane to the top lane, back to the top lane, out there, out front, wanting to just stay there, looking like Joey Logano out there, but he's in a 25 machine instead. That 32 of Parkhurst is down on the inside line, trying to pull Wes Fuller and that Canadian we were talking to earlier, Dean Shavit, in the 56 on that inside line, trying to catch the outside line.
You have to hope here that the side draft works out. 32 holds the bottom. He tries to side draft the 19. 25's keeping everybody at bay. Car in the wall in the back. That's not going to bring out a caution. That's going to separate the field even more. Now you have 4 up top, 7 on the bottom, and it's going to be 8 laps to go. They cross the line. Who wins this race, guys?
The pack is thinning. We're losing some cars here in this front pack. They're either going off track, spinning, or they're in a wall. Right, and I can't help but look back there. Look at Matt Boone still sitting back there just off the outside line, coming up to the outside line now right behind the 37. He's still got a shot here. We've got Wes Fuller, another team. Oh, another wreck. Go. Is this going to bring out a caution, or did they go far enough to the inside? There it is. Caution out. That was Marcus Chafin, Wes Fuller, Mark Parkhurst. There's a whole group of them in there, but... that's only going to leave about, 6 guys up here in the front pack still up here, but that is going to allow the rest of those guys that did spin off, if they didn't hit anything, they could still have that clean car and be able to be back up here in the front, but that's going to put Matt Boone 4th.
That's a scary position to put himself in because P4, second car on the outside lane, he's going to be right behind Matt Smith in that 19. That purple machine has really been fast here tonight, but you got a Ford and a Ford that's going to be there, and you're going to have a mismatch here. You'll have a Ford on the bottom, a Chevy on the outside, with the Chevy pushing the Ford and the Ford pushing the Chevy. So different manufacturers are going to line up perfectly with one another. You take a look at the replay, and hard into the wall they go. Slight damage for the 5, but I think that's going to be decent to keep him back on track, Zach.
So yeah, I don't see much damage on the sides or the front bumper or the spoiler. I mean, he should be able to go. If anything, just go back down, fix it for a minute or two, and keep trucking. You only got 5-6 laps to go.
Yeah, I don't know if they've used fast repairs. I don't think we've seen Chafin use a fast repair. I don't think we've seen Fuller use a fast repair because he's been at the front most of the race here. So those two should, in my mind, go down and get fast repairs and come right back out. They're listed right now 10th and 12th.
Oh, and what a fake by the leader. Blake Henderson just faked the 19 out. Thought he was coming to pit lane, but top 8 stay out here. 9th on back come down pit lane, which was a smart move because some of the damage, the 22 has a little bit of damage. They were about 10 seconds off at the lead whenever we took the green flag. So not a bad strategy. And Kurt, why do you say we pull that leader up here?
Go ahead, grab Blake, and we'll talk to him. That's owner admin Blake Henderson now out front in that 25 machine in the Ford, sitting on the top spot. Can he make it to the end? We're probably going to go green with 4 to go here. Blake up here now?
Yeah,
Yep.
yo, Blake, what's up, man?
Yeah, just trying to get a win here. This Tombstone body armor Ford's been really good today. We had a little incident early on in the race, but we've rebounded really well for the last 2 stages. I know I got my boy Matt Smith beside me, so we're just gonna race it clean till the end.
I mean, that's an interview right there. Blake, you've been up front for the last several laps. You've been riding, switching lanes, looking like Joey Logano up there, flipping from bottom lane to top lane, back to the bottom, back to the top. You said you have a teammate sitting there, Matt Smith. He was one of our top 5 drivers that we spoke about in the pre-race. He didn't get a win last season, like you said. If it comes down to the 2 of you, should we expect any kind of bumping and banging for a win, or do you suspect your teammate's going to just push you to the end, or is there any kind of, hey, last laps, all bets are off?
I mean, we're not teammates. We're just pretty good buddies. We race
okay.
well together. I wouldn't think we're gonna bump and bang other than just bump drafting. I'd assume we'd kind of get it out clean. I know it's Daytona and you want to do everything you can to win here, but we both want that win. But I'll assume we'll both be pretty clean about it.
I'd love to get his perspective on that one, because it might be a little different. You might be thinking he pushed you to the end, but he might be thinking, hey, this last lap, I might give him a little bump and shove him up the track a little bit. But it's going to be entertaining here. I think you're going to go green now with 4 to go. Obviously, you want to stay up front. You've been shifting lanes very well and keeping those lines right behind you. Good luck on the rest of the race, bud, and hopefully we'll see you here in the top 3. It'd be great for you to come out and get the first win of the season.
All right, thanks, Kurt.
Yep.
Boys, don't look now, but look who's in 4th. We've talked to him a few times during the night. Our boy Matt Boone is up in 4th, and we all know he's really aggressive. I wouldn't be shocked if he makes it 3 wide and goes for the lead at some point in the next 4 laps.
Yeah, it could be close here. That's who I said I would have probably picked if I was looking at it, just because of how I know he drives super speedways and how strategic and clean he is with keeping his car in position to be up front at the end. And I mean, here he is sitting 4 to go or coming to 4 to go, and he's sitting on that outside line, sitting right behind Matt Smith, who Blake was just saying is a good friend of his, and would hope maybe he'd push him.
There's no friends with 3 to go, baby.
That's what I was thinking too, but
I want that checker flag.
I think he's hoping that's the case. But Guy Clem's actually going to line up behind Blake, so I don't know what his relationship is with Guy, but that outside line's been pretty fast.
Well, I tell you, there's no friends, there's no manufacturers, lane change, Toyota goes to the bottom. Don't know how the admins are going to view that one, but the 84 goes all the way down to the bottom. He holds it down there, and now here comes the Highline. I'm sorry, that was the 94. Highline's going to try to make a move with Boone all over the back bumper of the 19.
Yeah, these guys are definitely pushing now. The inside line definitely got the jump there.
Real wide.
Oh, there goes Blake to the high side of block. He's going to be able to get back down in time to block the bottom line with the 37 of Guy Clem coming on the inside, down the backstretch towards turn 3 and 4. Gets right back in front of the 37. Oh, 37 clips.
Made.
Oh, and I thought Boone was going to clear it. I was trying to wait before I said so. I was holding my breath. Boone does not clear that one, get some damage. There's a whole bunch of top guys listed in that one. Top 3 making it away, though, is Blake Henderson, Dean Clavitt, and Corey Andon in the 94. Several cars beat up in that one. A couple cars were flipping around there, so we'll go back and try to find exactly which one that was. I know Boone was in that. I don't know who was in the purple car. Who was that we were talking about? Is that Guy Clem?
Mark Smith.
Or Matt Smith,
He is on pit lane. There was a lot of good cars that was collected in that. The 83. A couple other people caught a little bit of that. The 98 caught a snippet of that part. And you also have the 20 of DJ Anderson. He's tore that 20 all to mess.
Yeah, this happened when Blake went down to block the 37. I don't know if he just, the way that the 25 came down in front of him, if he just didn't think he'd be able to let off of him, or when he did let off the pedal, it jumps to that, you know, how it kind of pulls the car to the right. That's what it kind of looked like, but I don't know if maybe he thought he would be able to fit between the 25 and the 19. As we're looking at the view, you can see the 37 already in contact with the 19 on the outside, but there was definitely no room between the two cars on the bottom line and top line to fit between there. So I think it was just more if he let off the pedal and it just shifted the car up. As we see him go into the corner here, once Blake gets in front, he gets twisted from the 56. Oh, and Matt Smith goes
it
for
looks
a
like his rear
ride.
bumper is sprinkled just a bit. So when the 56 hit him, it just sent him right up the track. See, and that's what I was talking about. You have to have a clean rear bumper to get pushed, because he didn't have a clean rear bumper. It had some fender damage, and it hooked him right into the whole field.
Well, this is going to shrink the field a little bit more. I don't know what's happening here. Boone's out there in chat saying, gross, that sucked, race over. So I guess he's out of time to be able to repair. Corey Kobe, his other teammate, back up into the 8th spot. But leader, Blake Henderson, is still out here. Dean Clavitt sitting second. Corey Annan now third. The first Toyota lined up. There's actually 3 Toyotas, like you were talking about earlier, Zach, lined up. 3rd through 5th are Toyotas. 2 of those guys are teammates, I believe. So, and then you got 3 Fords lined up.
Yeah. Talk about a long shot for all 3 of them to still make it through all this carnage, and we're about to have the first green white checkered of 3. Do they work together and try to pass the 56 and the 25 who've been up front all day?
I'm trying to look at the teams. I'm seeing Anderson, Whitlock, and Andon are Toyota drivers' teammates. So that would be Andon, Anderson. Steven is not part of that group. The only other Toyota, Whitlock, is the other teammate, and he's back in 23rd. So Steven is a free agent. They might want to try to grab him after this race since he's in a Toyota. And he's up here in the front battling for the win at the end of the race. But like you said, Zach, we are on the green-white checkered, first of 3 green-white checkers. Not a whole lot of guys left. It's looking like only the top 16 are still on the lead lap. I'm seeing 3 still in the pit road, so actually it might be only the top 13 left on the lead lap. The rest of the field is a lap down. We've got a few guys that did drop out of the race. As I see Boone in the chat saying, packed up the hauler, and I'm going to be headed to Michigan. So you've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 guys in double-digit lap downs right now. So definitely not a good night for those guys, but I think we still got some action going on here at the front. We've got, the green-white checkered. Is this the last caution, or do we go green to finish out this race?
I guarantee you it's not the last caution, but all I'm thinking about right now is that 56 on the outside, because the 2 cars behind him doesn't look like they have any front bumpers, so he's not going to have any pushing help. He's going to have to side draft and try to get behind that 25 on the inside going into 1 and 2.
No, this definitely is not the final caution. I don't see this ending under green flag conditions. We've seen stage 1, stage 2 end man, listen to me, end under caution. I would expect, if I'm Dean Clavitt or if I'm DJ Anderson, you're going to get to the back bumper of somebody, or somebody's going to get to the back bumper of you. You could see somebody spinning through the infield here as the green flag's going back in the air, and the 25 is going to have it at the helm.
Yeah, one thing I do, somebody just blew an engine right there at the start. 37 crashing on the front stretch. Another car in the grass. Can't tell who that is. Looks like it's the, I don't know.
And they're still green. They're still going.
So they're off track though. Somebody, as they went green, stepped on that pedal and blew an engine, which is unfortunate. I mean, it's not like he probably knew he was going to blow an engine right there, but unfortunate for the guys that got caught up in that. As he went green, he just blew the engine. So
And the
But
56 takes the lead.
Dean,
And he got pushed to the lead by somebody with no front valence. The 23 or the 20 shoves him to the lead, and now you have the hot Cheeto car out there getting pushed by Blake Anderson.
Come on, Canada.
Damn, you threw it in my head, and he's pushing the mess out of it. 1 lap to go at Daytona.
Blake Henderson pushing the 56, a lone Canadian we've talked to several times tonight, trying to get his first win. Blake out here doing a tandem push, as he told me last night that these guys really got good at tandem pushing. He worked on it, and here he is pushing the 56. They get separated from the next group. That's Corey Anden sitting in third in the 94 with the 98 of Matt Stevens, and the 5 of Wes Fuller is back up here in the top 5.
If he gets to his right rear, it's over. If the side draft is going to get him, if he gets to his right rear.
Well, this could be scary. You see the 25, you see the 56, 94's making a run.
They're
through
coming off turn
3 and
4. 94 going to the outside. 56, 94 is going to pass.
Oh, Canada, baby! He wins it at
Oh,
Daytona.
Oh.
Oh,
Dean Clavitt
Canada.
bringing home the victory, the first race of HTL's iRacing Season 2. Dean Clavitt, the lone Canadian in the field in that 56 Hot Cheeto machine, bringing it home first place. Second place going to Corey Anden in that 94 machine. Comes back from third to get there by passing Blake Henderson as they came through the tri-oval. Owner admin Blake Henderson bringing it home third in that 25 machine. Had the lead up until that last lap when the 56 made the pass. That was a great move by both of them, but the 56 just powered right by the 25 and just never looked back, really. So gonna get both or all three of them in the booth and give them a talking to here. I know Blake had told me about, trying to pull 1 or 2 drivers that maybe had some issues during the race, or if there was some excitement between 2 guys wrecking or anything like that. I don't know if there's anybody specific I want to pull up into the booth, as there might be some upset drivers out there, but let me see here.
All I know is that 56 where congratulate whoever pushed him past the leader on that bottom line.
That was the 20.
If it wasn't, with no bumper, man. Like, no bumper, and he pushed him past the inside line.
I don't know how that worked.
Let's get our winner up here.
Told you if you have damage, you can
Yeah,
still
they
make
should
it. But I didn't realize you could do it without a bumper.
Yeah, they'll be in the waiting room, Terry, so give me just a minute here. I'm going to run the other stuff, and then we'll bring them up one at a time. But, yeah, we're going to bring up Blake first, then Corey Anden coming home second. We'll bring him up second, and then Dean Clavitt, your overall winner. And then I'm guessing that we're going to hear the singing that was promised during this stream.
Yeah.
The 2 people singing will be Terry and Dean Clavitt, since we've got the only Canadian in the field and brings it home. So I guess we will hear "Oh Canada." Unfortunately, I will probably be putting my headphones on or turning them on mute, so I do not have to listen to that. But the rest of you can either do that or stay on. We'll be right back, and we'll get the third place of Blake Henderson into the booth here.
What a race.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
All right, Terry and Zach, we are back. Gonna get the top three in here. Let's see, it should be Blake Henderson coming up into the booth first, as he finished third place tonight.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to him. So, Zach, why don't you go ahead and take third place, bud?
Blake, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Hey man, you were up front all race, man. Take me through that, from start to finish. How'd you dodge all the wrecks, have a clean car at the end, and how'd you feel almost having a chance to win coming off of 4?
Yeah, man. Hard not to be disappointed. Having to lead on the final restart, and it's all on me. I just completely mismanaged the draft. That's just inexperience and being up front on the end of these things. I was trying to push 56 as far out as I could get and see if I could pass him, just me and him. But the pack was still kind of cleaning on us, and I just couldn't get a run going at the end. So it was a good race. Cool to bring home a third place, but that hard not to get that get that first win.
If you could have done anything different on that restart, would have laid back to the 94 and got a run together, or would you done the same thing and stayed up against the leader and try to get to his quarter panel and side draft him and possibly pass him going into 3 or 4?
I don't know what happened. 94 gave me a push on the start. Looks like we just kind of got disconnected after that. I don't know if people behind us were trying to race, but I wish I would have taken the run on the backstretch. That's what I should have done, but I just decided to keep pushing. So.
Okay, yeah, man. I mean, you did good. Any shout outs or anything for you?
Yeah, I want to shout out my brand Henderson Graphics. It's my graphic design brand. We do a $30 paint scheme. You can reach out to me on Instagram at Henderson Graphics. My Tombstone guys were really good tonight. They were good supporting, and Tribe too. They were pretty good.
Yes, sir. Congrats on third, boss.
Thanks.
Well, Mr. Corey, it's time to talk to the second place guy. It's Terry. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
I feel like I just watched an incredible race, and I got to see you drive through the field. And from being one of only 4 Toyotas in the field tonight to come on with a P2 should have felt like a win, in my opinion.
Oh, I'm pretty satisfied with it. Considering first start, and yeah, the team like all the Toyotas, we kind of were together right until that final caution, and we had a whole plan and strategy, but that caution threw a wrench in those plans. I think they both got caught up in it.
Well, to come home P2 to start your season, the race before Michigan, was hoping to gain some points. You did that tonight with scoring a momentous second place finish here. Is this going to propel you in the season to say, okay, I had some speed, I understood the draft, knowing that draft is going to play a big key at Michigan too? Does this help you get the ball rolling for the team to maybe pick up some wins, if not a lot of top 5s this season?
Well, we're hoping to run really strong at Michigan and have a lot of practice, set up and ready to go. But I think the big thing is going to be balancing the low downforce package and the high horsepower, because at Auto Club, earlier in the official season, there was a lot of off throttle time and tires didn't wear very much. So I'm just really curious to see if that continues and whether it's going to be a top line dominant or kind of a low line dominant race.
Well, congratulations on P2 tonight. Any shout outs for you this evening?
Just a shout out to the Newfound Glory team. They were pretty awesome, and it was really cool to have some teammates to rely on, and the duel felt pretty lonely, so it was nice to see a couple other Toyotas.
Well, we appreciate your time, and thanks so much for coming to join us. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Curtis, time to talk to the winner.
I don't know, Terry. I'm waiting to see if this bet that happened during the race actually comes true, because you bet and
Canada, our home and native land.
Okay, see, now you're going slower than me.
True patriot love in all thy sons command.
All right, Terry, I think you butchered here. All right.
Oh, Canada, baby.
Well, Dean, during the race, we did say if you did win, or Terry said if you did win, he would sing with you. So there is that "Oh Canada," since you are the lone Canadian in the race tonight, and you
That's
bring it
fine.
home first in that hot Cheeto machine. We picked you up, I think, twice throughout the race when you were out front. Once after the caution came out mid second stage, and then after the third stage there, after it was getting ready to start. You made your way back through the field. I mean, it was a great race to see. You made a move there with about 2 laps to go to get to the outside of Henderson. You went around him, and then got out in front, and those two started battling it out as you guys were coming through the tri-oval. Give us a rundown from that third stage and what you were really trying to do there. If you were just trying to focus on staying up front or trying to avoid some stuff. There were some issues that happened right there, pretty much at your fender. So you missed out on some more calamity as we were talking about earlier in the race. But give us a rundown for that third stage.
Oh my goodness, it was pretty crazy. Honestly, we are just riding there for basically the majority of that third stage, and just planning our pit stop there, and then we got a lucky caution come out and made our pit stop under caution, thankfully. But I got disconnected with my teammates for a little bit on track. I gotta apologize to Guy Clem. I accidentally got into him going into turn 3 and kind of spun him around. So that's all me looking at the replay. But I don't know how I missed that wreck that happened right in front of me when Mark got turned and all that. And yeah, it was scary to say the least. But I knew I had to get to the outside of Blake to at least have a chance. But the guy behind me, I think, had no front end, so I just had to side draft him pretty bad, and somehow was able to get through and got him. So I got to thank whoever's behind me there and Nathan Esep for pushing and all that, and somehow didn't get hooked coming to the checkers.
Yeah, were you thinking that it was going to go clean to the finish, or were you really looking in the mirror to see how close Blake and Andon were to your back bumper there?
Well, I run in a super speedway league, and every single race I ran in this season, I wrecked on the last lap. So I was expecting to get wrecked on the last lap, but finally it actually went my way for once. And I was mirror driving basically that whole last lap, just making sure that Blake didn't sag back and whatnot. And then I saw the 94 got to his outside, and I'm like, oh, that's it. So it was a very interesting race overall, and I'm glad that we are able to pull a W out here for John and 1776 Motorsports.
Well, next week we go to Michigan, another 90 laps, kind of a super speedway. I don't think you really need to lift there at all in these next gen cars. What are your expectations headed into that race now that you got the one win under your belt in this very long season? Are you going to try to stay up front again, or are you just going to play that one as it folds?
Nah, just gonna play it as it folds, basically. This, with my super speedway races, I tend to hang in the back, save up any fast repairs or whatnot. So I don't really race at the start, but come come that third stage, that's when I get serious and whatnot. And you got plenty of times to get stage points throughout the season. So these plate tracks are kind of a mulligan. But next week we're definitely gonna be going, balls to the wall basically, and try and get every point we can get, because basically the season now starts next week. It's so tricky with Daytona and Talladega on what's gonna happen and whatnot. So just gotta thank everybody. Thank you guys for broadcasting. Thank everybody watching. Shout out to all the 1776 guys. They're definitely a big help this race, and thank John for painting this beautiful Trip Murphy paint scheme from Herbie Fully Loaded back in the day. And hopefully we can go and get some more wins out this season.
Well, you definitely brought home a hot rod, coming home first out front with 51 points. You did get the one bonus point for leading a lap. Blake Henderson sitting right behind you by 3 points. He got the max points, I believe, with 4 tonight, along with Wes Fuller. So I'm not really sure how. Oh, that's stage points. Sorry. So I'm gonna have to take a look at that later on. But yeah, Michigan. That should be an interesting super speedway style racing again with these next gens. Draft really plays a factor in there. Did well tonight with the draft, so hopefully we'll see you back in the booth next week. Really appreciate everybody out there in the chat, all the different people that were in the stream follow or viewing. Appreciate Repeat out there. His race for SMB just ended and threw some or rated in 7 people, so really appreciate Pete and those 7 people coming over. Great race tonight. I really enjoyed it with you, Terry and Zach, in the booth. It was great to have you guys all in here. Zach, with your expertise as a super speedway guy, or not even just a super speedway guy, just being really good at super speedways on top of the other tracks that you're really good at, giving that insight. And then Terry, always, you and I work well together. It's the same as me and Pete. We can kind of bounce off of each other. We've known each other for a long time now, where we have that kind of. I can tell where you're going with it, and you can probably tell where I'm going with it. So we do a lot of talking, so hopefully we didn't talk too much for Zach. He didn't get too bored in there, but I think it was a really great race. Loved having you guys in. Like I said during the race, you guys are welcome back anytime. Just let me know anytime you guys are available on a Monday night, and you guys are welcome back in the booth at any point throughout the season, as I'll be trying to find different people every week to be in here with me, as I don't have a steady second commentator be in the booth with me. I'm kind of rotating as we go. So anytime, you guys are welcome to be in here.
I appreciate that, boss.
As long as I'm allowed to sing "Oh Canada" every time the 56 wins, count me in.
Well, that's probably up to you two right there, but
I'm in
no,
every time.
he may get sick of hearing it from you, but if he's winning all the time, he may not get sick of it.
No,
that's where Dean finishes top 3, and you just text him real quick, say, "Hey, come in the booth."
Oh Canada every week, last lap, just me. Oh Canada, all day, every day.
Well, now I have to go out and win. Now I have to go out and win more races.
So I'm saying it's my favorite national anthem, other than the American, obviously. Calm down, American people. But I absolutely love it. Congrats, buddy.
Thank you.
Wait till I get to interview him, because I'm a Brit.
The Brits.
Oh, I don't know if we want to talk about that. Brit and U.S.
I'm going to learn "Oh Canada" in French, so every week I'll give you a different version of "Oh Canada."
Oh, God.
But,
I'm here for Canada.
This is going to wrap it up here. I'm going to throw into another scene and run a commercial for a minute, and then we'll close it down in the stream. Appreciate this one of you are still out there listening to us here, and Terry's rant about "Oh Canada," but
it's a great national anthem.
I think we got up to about 38 people in the stream tonight, so great job, you guys in the booth with me, and really appreciate all the people out there in the chat, all the comments. Got a couple more follows, bit drops, Big Papa Bear 1491. I'm assuming that's our Papa Bear that dropped bits, so I really appreciate that. Terry, your bit drop at the beginning of the race, or beginning of the stream, and then Papa Bear dropping more bits actually throughout the stream. So really appreciate you guys, and I got a couple first-time viewers of the stream too tonight, so that's pretty good. And really appreciate HTL for bringing me in to be broadcaster, and I'm looking forward to this amazingly designed season. Like I said, 23 races, 16 regular season, 1 All-Star, and 7 playoff races. Should be a very, very good season. The tracks are very, very lined up, different every week, kind of. The schedule, you got Daytona, then Michigan, Rockingham, Las Vegas, North Wilkesboro, Indianapolis, then Phoenix, Sonoma, Talladega, Charlotte, Roval, so staying at Charlotte 2 weeks in a row, then going to Kansas, then Atlanta, going to Watkins Glen, Martinsville, Daytona again, as the last race of the season. All-Star race is going to be at the LA Coliseum, and then we go into the Chase, where then we have Pocono, Fontana, Darlington, Daytona Road Course, Talladega, Bristol, and then Homestead, Miami. Going to be a great schedule. So appreciate everybody out there, and I will catch you guys next week at Michigan, and we'll see who I have in the booth next week.